Hello, hello, hello. Check one, check two. I see you. Hey, you guys hear me okay? Oh, I hear myself. I got a mute on that one. Okay. I scared myself, actually. I had my YouTube up to watch chat, and then I was like, what the hell is that guy saying? Hello, hello, hello. Whoa, look at you guys. Piling in, piling in. I see you guys like pulling each other. You're coming in the doors, and you're grabbing each other by the shirts, and it's like a Black Friday sale. You're climbing over top of each other. Oh, that guy's getting squished in the doors. Oh my gosh. What? What? You're climbing over railings to get in here? Wow. Feel the energy. There's enough shibby for everyone, guys and gals, people of all stripes. I'm like town bicycle. Everyone gets a ride. I'm just gonna finish up reading Jerry's Holeman stuff. Why am I seeing this differently? You know what? I'm gonna have to. Oh, okay, it's working. Seems like one chat is popping, and the StreamYard's not moving. Hmm. You know what? Let's start with who gets the first one. Who was here? Who was here? Who was here? Who was here first? Let me see. I'm looking for you. Dandy Linus, come on down. You're the first contestant on the comment is highlighted. Just right. Free peach. And whoever you guys were talking about, we're going to start fresh. Who cares? Too much love out there, man. Too much love. Oh, don't make me block you all. I'm already lonely enough. I need you all here. I'm a lonely, lonely boy. Please, please, I beg you. I'm begging you, please. Don't fight, please. Clean slate, starting fresh. Take 27, starting right now. Here, I'll play a sound effect. Some official fresh start song. What is official fresh start stuff? Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Fresh start. You ready? You ready? Blow this bitch up. Everyone, release your bladders. Have a nice. Oh, there you go. Feels better already. Okay? Relax. Breathe. Have a laugh. And here's that sound effect when picture Heather Brown walking in her summer dress, and some guy's rubbernecking, and he's near a railing. He's on the edge of they're on the roof of a 30-story building, and he's watching Hebby in her summer dress, and he's not looking where he's going, and then he hits the railing, and he just. Oh, the first time wasn't very loud. Poor guy. Pay attention next time, dude. Can't be rubbernecking. Gotta watch where you're walking. You're gonna fall off a 30-story building. Alrighty. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't say that because I think I won't say that. That's not going to be a funny joke anymore, Charles, because I think someone hates me. So, but this is just yeah. Never ever 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 leave your mic on when you go to the washroom. Especially if you're on a long train ride. Or the cops are chasing you. You gotta just stick your arm out the window and start firing back at them. Do not do that. That's a bad idea. Bad idea, dude. I'm so nervous. You guys ready to read? We all got a fresh start there. See the sound effects? They make everything better. Yes, she hates me, but we're gonna move on because I'm not gonna talk about hate. I'm just gonna talk about love. got love, fresh starts. I don't care if you have beef or never anywhere else. Here is all fresh starting. And I'm going to go, oh, okay, so let's pick the next comment, the next nice comment. Who's got the next nice one? Here we go. Free Peach is going to be laying down. So how about this, Peach? Since we got all fresh starts, go lay down. Just know that Free Peach, you're welcome here anytime. If we're cool, we all have a problem. You know, we all have our days. We all have our moments. And I'm not saying you did or anybody, but we all get a chance to do better. And I'm here to do better for you guys. And all you need to do is smile and have fun. And if I annoy you, put me on mute. If somebody else annoys you, block them. And then maybe unblock them and try it again another day. You never know. So, Free Peach, if you're going to lay down, just know that you're on the screen with me for at least the next 10 minutes until I take a stop and take a drink break. Free Peach, you're going to be right there underneath me on the screen. Right? Where is it? It's going to be over here somewhere. I'm trying to guess by looking at one screen. You're over here, and you're right underneath me. Peach, Shibby on Peach. Shibby on Peach on the screen. Peach is laying down with cue bald Shibby right over top. Are you guys ready? All right. Yeah, it's 4:45 a.m. So the only reason I'm doing this is, I'm working. I'm working now. I'm working so hard. I have 2 jobs I'm doing now. This is actually a 3rd job now that I'm a professional announcer. Look at this. 14 people. You guys rely on me. Where would you know? So it's 4:45, and I'm technically working till 7 a.m. until they show up at the construction site next door, and I don't have to worry about all that shit out there. There's like $40,000 worth of wood and equipment I'm looking at right now. So, that's my next door neighbors. Yeah. Yep. Free Peach is laying under Shibby. Yes. Exactly. It's literally. And then Big Fishy comes in with the wave. All right, we're ready now. I was stalling until Fishy got here because I knew she was lurking. I knew she couldn't resist my voice. All right. So let's do this. So, Peach, you're laying down. Just know that until I take my next drink break, it's you and me, girl, or whoever you are. All right. Let's do this. So, if you're not sure, this is a continuation of Jerry Holeman. So, he's officially a DIC, DIC. Nicole wrote it down for me here. 1 second. He's officially a DIC. His title, one of his acronym titles, is literally DIC. And I'm not kidding. So it stands for, what did I write it down? Shit, I didn't write it down, but the next time I see it, I will write it down. If anybody knows, it's some Department of Independent Chocolate or something. Doesn't discriminate. No. Oh, you're a girl? All the better. I like girls. I like them a lot. I like them underneath me too. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Fresh start. Starting now. Right now, this time. Fresh start. Shibby's not going to say no more dumb shit. I promise. For at least the next 30 seconds or 1 minute, I swear to you, I won't say anything dumb, okay? Maybe I shouldn't say anything at all. I'll be back in a minute. I don't think I can make it. Okay. So I'm starting at line 5. So I'll read question 4. This is Jerry Holeman. Ooh, you know what? So remember 444, line 4. Ooh. 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 Lots of 4s. So all 4 of us get in there and do that. I'm just going to scroll back quickly and just double check who's asking the questions, because they kind of jump back and forth between Rosie and Baldwin. But and you can see the breaks. It's pretty easy to pick up. So all we're going to remember is 444, line 4. 444, line 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. I can't go any lower than that. Redactions. Ooh. Ooh, love those redactions. They're hot. It's a Brazilian page there. It's a bald redaction. More Brazilian pages. Damn. Love those Brazilians. They're cool people. Ooh, another Brazilian redaction. Oh my gosh. I'm never going to know who's asking the questions because what if they switched on one of those pages? Oh, why do I even bother? Oh my God. Why do I even bother? Why do I even bother? Why do I even bother? I quit. That's it. I give up. I'm only kidding. Oh my gosh. Brazilian pages everywhere. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't take it anymore. Can't take it anymore. How many pages could they be? Oh, do I stop or do I keep going? Well, but we just, it's the defense. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to get my keyboard. And we're just going to say it's the defense talking to Jerry Holeman. And maybe when we, and how about this? Just remember when we get to when they switch next time, whoever they switch to will just be able to apply the other one to all of this. Okay. So it's either Baldwin or Rosie. And it's definitely Rosie, like a rose, because that's exactly what he said in the courthouse the day he started. The media asked him who he was and if they could pronounce his name. And he said, Brad Rosie, like a rose. He even said like a rose, like a kiss from a rose in the sun or whatever. Okay. So, which was on 300? Between the cemetery and Mears, walking towards Mears. Are you aware of any eyewitness testimony that said or that established that, ooh, I love when they do that. Look at that. Look at that fucking sentence right there. Page 7. Let's just ponder on this for a second, okay? So Rosie or Baldwin or the interpreter or whatever, one sentence they're saying that 4 times and almost another time they got than. So are you aware of any eyewitness testimony that said or that established that person, I hate when they do that, was anywhere else other than on 300? Are you aware, like when he established that the person was, OMG. No. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you just see that? It's on that same page. They switched. So I went like 40 pages the other way to look. So they're switching to Mr. Baldwin. So Mr. Rosie is finishing right here. Like it was literally, oh my God. Like I was here. I was literally here starting at number 4. Like, look at. It was, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't take it. Watch. I'm going to take Peach's. Oh my God. This is amazing. This is epic. I'm going to take Peach's comment off. Now watch. I'm going back full screen. Look at. Okay. Can you guys see the full screen? Wait, Peach's comment is just left. Okay, so I was on page 444 and I started on question 4, right? And I went up, what, 40 pages. I got to 400 and I stopped, right? Watch this. I swear to you. See, that's on line 15 at the bottom. Watch this. 2 lines later, it says Mr. Rosie. Literally. So I was here and here. I would have found out it was Mr. Rosie. But I went 40 pages the other way looking for that. And here, just one last look. Are you guys ready? Say it. Count with me. 1, 2, 3. Brad Rosie. OMG. All right. Fresh start. That's not going to bother me. Are you aware of any eyewitness testimony that said or that established that person was anywhere else other than on 300? No. In the cemetery, in the woods, behind a barn, down the road, in a driveway, on the moon, in my spaghetti, anything like that? Only on the bridge. Oh, pretty important facts in this case. Yes. Now, Mr. Rosie, he says, because he's the one here. He must be looking at somebody else. I don't have any further questions. I don't have, out of all the questions I just asked, you don't need to go look 40 pages the other way. It was me who asked him, dipshit. I'm right here, Mr. Rosie. Thank you. Now Baldwin's up. Oh boy, I'm still trying to get. I'm Andy Baldwin. That's a fresh start. I'm Andy Baldwin. I'm happy. Nothing's going to get me down here. You watch. My neurotic, empty, goldfish-sized brain is not going to get the better of me. You watch. I promise. I'm Andy Baldwin. I'm trying to get a feel for this unified commands shit. Sure. We've heard who was in the unified command. Initially? Yeah. That was myself, Jay Harper, Kevin Hammond, Tony Leggett, Rich David, and Mike Peasley from the FBI. So 2 FBI, 2 county, and then Moonman Mullen from the city. Do you guys prefer Steve Moon Mullen or just Moon Mullen or Moonman Mullen? So if you want Steve Moon Mullen, type 1. If you want Steve Moonman Mullen, type 2. And if you just want Moon Mullen, which is kind of what I prefer, it's so easy, type 3. So Moon Mullen is 3. Steve Moonman Mullen is 2. And Steve Moon Mullen is 1. Type in chat. Type the number 3, please. So I really like Moon Mullen. Let's do that again. 2 county and then Moon Mullen or Moonman Mullen sounds pretty good. No, I refuse. Nope. Moon Mullen. Yeah, I got to say something because I'm saying that's just my shtick. It's Dick Jerry, Dick Holeman. It's Boss McClelland and Moon Mullen. Nope. Now I'm going to say it just for Charles. It's Moon Mullen. Charles Moon Mullen. Just for Charles, because I know he loves it. He says that, but he's Mr. Sarcastic. But his ability is he prolongs his sarcasm. So you think he's mad at you, but he's really just kidding. So for Charles, by special request, Moon Mullen from the city. He was the chief at the time, and then prosecutor Rob Non-Secular Ives was also involved, and that was Unified Command initially. And then if you can tell me kind of what it morphed into over time. Sure, Rich Davis and Mike Peasley. Obviously, Rich retired from the FBI. Mike Peasley was transferred to Washington, D.C. or Virginia or something like that. Kevin Hammond retired. So that left Tony Leggett, me, Jay Harper, Steve Mullen, and then we added Dave Vito, and then prosecutor Boss McClelland took over shortly after Rob Non-Secular Ives, and that was Unified Command. Okay. And was there any more changes other than those that you described? I don't think so. I think that's all I remember. I'm as dumb as a doornab. Dumb as nails or a doorknob. Yes. Is Unified Command still in existence? Yes. Okay. So that last crew that you said, that's the group that are involved in Unified Command. That would be who I would consider the current Unified Command. How often are they meeting? We don't meet as often as we used to. We don't have it every week, every month. I feel like I've read this, but I just listened to somebody else read this the other day. Oh yeah, Prof read it to me, and I also read this about 2 weeks ago on with Peggy. But for my show, I need to do it again because I didn't do the voices on Peggy's. I was actually just Shibby as Holeman. So if something comes up, either Prosecutor Boss McClelland will send out an email and say, hey, can we meet on this day, or vice versa? I'll say, hey, I got some information I'd like to share, or anybody with Unified Command, and we might invite other people like lab, forensic scientists and things like that. But I would say probably once a month. Still, I can't remember the last time we met, but it was probably a month ago. At its height, how often would Unified Command? Every day we'd meet in the morning, talk about what had happened and what our plans are moving forward, allocating any resources, time, money, going over stuff like that. Where was the meeting? Was it a specific place or was it a different place? Maybe I did read this. Ooh, this is weird. Well, it moved a couple of times, but we called a unified command. So the command center started out at the Delphi police department. Above the police department, there's a conference room and kitchen and stuff we used. Then we moved over to what was referred to as the old RMC building. And we were in there for quite some time. And then we moved back temporarily to the police department. And then now we're at an offsite location. I don't know the actual address here, just out of Delphi. And the reason I'm asking is because sometimes when there's meetings, you go down to the diner and you have a cup of coffee. No, it was all private, secure locations with law enforcement only. And also, I believe Baldwin and Rosie I think they recycle questions too. So some of these, they're kind of asking the same questions. So was it in a place where you could look at technology, things on computers, or was there a big screen so you could look at anything that you needed to look at if there was anything of interest? Yep. Okay. And who was kind of in charge of the technology side of it, if anybody? Moon Man Mullen, probably. I'd say it is the most proficient in technology. Oh boy. He looks like he's one of the stupidest men I've ever met. I haven't met, or stupidest men I've ever, seen. The fact that a guy like Steve Mullen made it to chief in that small town is just further proof of the what's that, nepotency or something? Nepos, whatever it is, where they kind of hire their families or just pure hiring yes men. Because Steve Mullen, if you just talk to him, I can just see he's not a bright guy. He was the captain of police, chief. He then was Nick McClelland's head prosecutor, the prosecutor's head and investigator or whatever, or, whatever the fuck he was. And now he's back to chief again of police. And he's got to be one of the dumbest fucking guys I've ever heard speak. Okay. And I'm trying to get an understanding of these people that go out, the detectives and the different agencies that are investigating. I even saw some like up in Hammond, Indiana. I think if you're up in Hammond, Indiana, how do you get involved in a case like this if you were a police officer up there? A couple of different ways. Probably maybe a task force officer come down here to help us. But also we would, to save time and resources, we would reach out to, for example, if there was a person we got a tip on in Peru, I would reach out to Bob Burgess. Bob Burgers. Great TV show, Bob's Burgers. And say, hey, Bob, could you follow up on this and establish alibi and things like that? If anything else, contact us and we'll jump in and help out. So we utilized not only state police, but some other local. And then the FBI out of state. We used, we got tips out of state. We wouldn't always go. We'd reach out to the FBI or the state police in Florida or wherever. Denver. We went to Denver. We have sent people places. But we don't always send people places because, like I said, just because we get a tip doesn't make you a suspect. So it could be they could follow up on that very quickly for us and eliminate them as a suspect. Now I'm going to take a quick drink. 1 second. Ooh. There we go. Please hold. And we're back. Ooh, Nicole. Awesome. Okay, I'm here. Yay, y'all. Yay. We have Nicole. Did I miss anybody new? And you guys are all... Ooh, nepotism. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, sir. See, you guys are all getting along. Charles, honestly, with Charles, he's his sarcasm, I swear to you, 90% of Charles is joking and funny. He's almost charming if he wasn't. So if he didn't hold on to his sarcasm, you'd think he's almost charming. But his sarcasm, he's one of those guys that carries sarcasm on very long. So, and a lot of people kind of take that the wrong way. So, But I can tell you, I promise you, Charles is just like a super good at sarcasm. So just know. I think if you guys would use more emojis, just big dumb emojis, you'd be fine. Even just an LOL. I'm telling you, I put a bunch of emojis and I say the stupidest shit in chats, and people just love it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Wow, you guys are nuts. I say some really dumb stuff, and I followed up with a couple cool emojis, and everyone's just like, hoo, this guy's funny. Yep. Free speech and sarcasm. That's the same like me. I grew up up here in Canada. We chirp. I told you earlier, we chirp. It's called chirping. Like on hockey. Like if my brother or my dad played on the other team, I would be chirping his ass. Like if he was on the right wing and they were dropping a face off by the boards, we'd be calling, we'd be shit talking, called chirping. And then after the game, we'd even fight on the ice. We'll fight, fucking fight, pissed off, draw blood. And then after the game, it's like we bump into each other, and go to the bar and get beers and just fucking laugh. Like, what happened to those days, man? That's where I am. I'm staying there. I'm not living in the past. I'm just bringing some of that goodness to the future. How's that? Oh, let's get someone on screen. I have Nicole on screen. Good. Nicole is my safety blanket. Sorry, guys. Just messing around. I got 3 screens going. There we go. Hey, do you guys like my I'm going to fix that up in the top right corner. If you haven't seen, that's me doing right when COVID came, I ordered some N95 masks and I was painting some stuff and I had some goggles. So I thought I'd take a big funny picture. So I'm going to make that my logo, but I'm going to actually juice it up, make it better. I got to do some stuff to it, but it's just going to get better and better. You watch. Stay tuned. You'll be so goddamn excited. I'm telling you. You said the word task force. Was that Greg Ferenczi on task force? Yeah, grit. I don't know what it stands for. Grits. Greasy. Raccoon in tacos. Grit. Grit. Oh, okay. There's one up north. There's one down south. There's one to the east. There's one to the west. It's an Annabelle left. Annabelle right. Come on, you fucking jerk. Get the right step right. Get on your move. Piss me off. You fucking jerk. Remember that song? You get on my nerves. Here comes Johnny with the pecker in his hand. He's a one-ball man and he's off to the rodeo. It's an Annabelle left and an Annabelle right. Come on, you fucking jerk. Get the right step right. Get on your move. Boop, boop, boom. Piss me off. You fucking jerk. I love that song. Okay. Did you know Greg Ferenczi before this case? No. Did you ever get to meet him? I did. How did you get to meet him? Through some of the tips he was following up for us down there in that area. And that brings me to, did you have like special guests come in and update you on things? You said like experts or maybe scientists or something like that would come in and talk. Some questions you just kind of like, I can't get the rhythm, because I'm trying to guess what his inflection is going to be at the end. And it's like, I just totally fuck it up. So absolutely you do. What about detectives? Like we were talking, Murphy was working on aspects of, I think, the Odin side of it. The Odin allegations or the Odin whatever. Yeah. Did Murphy ever come in and give a full accounting of whatever his investigation involved? I'm not sure if Murphy did, but we had multiple officers come in, and instead of us trying to read their reports or whatever, they would update us on their investigation. How would it be determined for you? Who's probably a busy guy? Mm-hmm. What am I going to read? How do I prioritize? What am I going to focus my energy on? Oh my God, what am I going to wear? Oh my God, does this shirt match these pants? Oh shit. Utilize the investigators, They tell me they feel what they feel, and it may change, right? Now, this Brad Rosie guy looks really good. Looks real good. So you should probably follow up on this. And they would tell me, and then I would read the report. So, like you said, there's multiple officers. I'm in charge. My normal job is to read all of the police reports that come through District 14, which keeps me pretty busy. But, you're talking now 100 officers or whatever, and I'm only getting the state police on my RMS. And I don't know what that means either, because I'm a big, dumb, fucking idiot. Then I have to get hard copies of others, so other people help me out as far as reviewing those. What about emails? Is there like, don't email me? I don't need my box all inundated with emails. I actually stayed off the email tip line. Is that what you were talking about? Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm sure you have an email. Like if Murph or Perd would send you an email, would you look into it? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I always respond to emails. But what was the preferred method for you? Verbally. Verbally? Call me, meet with me. I want to talk about some of these officers. I don't know what the right phrase is. I'll just call them law enforcement officers to see what your thoughts are on them and how well you knew them. Winters. Joseph Winters? Joseph Winters. Because Ryan Winters, unless, you know what's funny? Nicole, I'm going to write that down. Because it seems weird. Let's see who this Joseph Winters is. Because maybe, I thought it was weird when we did Ryan Winters, but they wouldn't get that wrong. So it's probably just a different guy with the name Winters. So I'm going to move on and forget I even thought of that. He worked at Lafayette. I was actually one of his FTOs. He transferred down south. He was one that the state police sent up here to help during the initial push, like when we were getting a lot of tips. Do you trust Joseph Winters? Yeah. Do you trust his opinions on the importance of valued evidence? Yeah. Transparency. It could be, because that sounds like that guy, Winters. So I'm going to remember to double check if this is a separate guy, Joseph Winters, or because Ryan Winters, the guy who received the Holder screenshots, was a cop, and he was on light duty. But the tipster was also Ryan Boucher. So I always thought that maybe, I was thinking the other day that maybe they accidentally put Ryan for both. And that guy's name was really Ryan Boucher. The civilian tipped in the screenshots of all the Brad Holder's posts in the very beginning, 2017, like in July and August, he tipped all that stuff in. And Ryan Winters might be Joseph Winters. It almost sounds like it. There's a mystery. Yeah, he agrees. Do you trust his opinion on the importance of the value of evidence? Yes. Oh, I already read this. I'll read it again. Ferenczi, I know he's deceased, but did you trust him? Did you trust, from what you knew of him, did you trust him? Yeah, I didn't know him all that well, but yes. Murphy, how well did you know Murph? I knew of him before this, but then he was assigned down here because he was on the grit guys. He was one of the grit guys. Got to know him pretty well. Yeah, I trust him. He did a really good job following up on his tips and leads. And if he came to you and said, hey, I think it is important, that would mean something to you? Yeah. If Murphy said that, yes? Yes. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I use a pronoun, and then I'll have to go back because I don't want to figure out who I was talking with. Purdy? Ooh, 2 questions in a row? You think something heard there? Ooh. Purdy? Roland Purdy? How did you feel? Did you know him? Not before this, I didn't. Did you feel from your working with him that he did a good job? He's not as reliable as others, No? Okay. All right. And if you said, hey, I think something's important, would that be something you would pay attention to? Oh, absolutely. We would definitely look into it. And Stephanie Thompson, did she do anything else other than polygraph, or was she just polygraph as far as I know? Did you have any reason to believe she was not a good polygraph? No, she was absolutely excellent. Her and I were very close, and I would trust her with my life. Let me phrase it this way. You said it earlier, that part of a polygraph examination is to get a feel for whether the person is telling the truth, or to determine whether they're telling the truth. What? Get a feel for whether the person is telling the truth, or to determine whether they're telling the truth, right? You want to get a feel for whether they're telling the truth, or you want to determine whether they're telling the truth. Yes. But the other part of it is, and I know this from doing this so long, this is where our clients sometimes crash and burn because they say a bunch of shit during the polygraph examination, which I think is part of why you do a polygraph examination. Is that fair to say? You're trying to gain information from this dipshit out of the mouth of these people, and that can be used. Like I said earlier, it's definitely a tool that we use, and there's a pre-interview before the actual polygraph. The pre-interview is where you gain some information. Yeah, you trick them into answering questions that maybe they shouldn't be answering. Yeah, it's like more sleight of hand, abracadabra. We've read them our rights, so go ahead, answer these dumb questions without your lawyer present. And then there's a post-interview after they say he's deceptive, not deceptive, inconclusive, whatever. You go back and re-interview them if they're willing to clear things up. And if a polygraph examiner hears something during a polygraph examination that they think is of importance, would they normally come to you and say, hey, this fucking guy just said some dumb shit. This guy told me this during the polygraph exam. Normally. And if you are the investigator, if I'm investigating Brad Rosie and I'm going to be watching the polygraph and pre-polygraph, you know, that pre-polygraph where it drips out, a little bit of pre-polygraph stuff, and I'm there to answer questions or whatever. So yeah, you think Stephanie Thompson, if she were to hear something during a polygraph examination of somebody that she felt was important in this case, that she would go to the right people to tell them? I think so, yeah, because I trusted her with my life. Okay, so we're going to pause here for 1 second. Line 12, Sarah Carbaugh. Please hold. And we're back. You guys don't have to worry about Mustang. She's not here. She's been disappeared from this channel completely, unless she uses an alt account. And I guess as long as she stays nice, I don't give a fuck. But the Mustang's done here. Have no fear. If I ain't having that shit. I tried so goddamn hard. But so let's only talk about nice things. Don't worry about deleting comments. You don't have to worry about anything here. Nicole's here. Sarcastic Charles is here. You guys are loving each other. Nicole's pretty face. Yeah, good idea. It's time for a new face. Who's saying some cool stuff? Let me read. I'm reading chat now. Who? Peach. Really? I'm nice to everyone. That's not bad. Oh, Dave's here. Hey, let's give Dave a highlight. Hey, Dave, what's up, bro? Bruh, welcome. Welcome to the jungle, bro. You driving now, Dave? Keep your eyes on the road, brother. Just checking in. Dave, you're on screen now with me. Dave, you're caller number 12. You won the tickets to see the Backstreet Boys. And we're going to throw in a half-used box of tissues. All you got to do is answer this for us, Dave. Are you ready? Who won the NHL hockey game tonight versus Montreal Canadiens versus Toronto Maple Leafs. You have 20 seconds. Go. Toronto Maple Leafs played Montreal Canadiens in the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec. Who won the game? You have 10 seconds left. Caller, Dave. Running out of time, Dave. You're not going to win the Backstreet Boys tickets. There's no distraction. I was going to take a break anyways. There's no, the distraction on Dave's channel. You have no fear, guys. The fresh start here. Dave's a very happy-go-lucky guy. Well, I think, Dave, if you're driving and you didn't get that, if you left, look at that, Dave. Wrong answer. Montreal beat Toronto. Your team beat my team, and you guessed my team. You don't have to be nice on my show, Dave, because if you just stuck with your regular smack talk, you would have won the tissues and the Backstreet Boys tickets. And now you get nothing because you were placating to the host, and they took the wrong answer, dude. Your team beat my team. So there, you deserve it. We're going to, next time, so the Backstreet Boys tickets and the half box of tissues are still at play here. So everybody welcome and say hi to Dave. And his team won. Montreal Canadiens won. They beat Toronto Maple Leafs. Dave loves Montreal. This is why Shibby's bald. And away we go. Yes, I was like so bummed out. But Montreal creamed Toronto tonight. Horrible. And in the Bell Center too. They're fucking nasty there. Their fans, Montreal's fans, if you're a losing team, they're nasty. You're lucky to get out there with wearing that same sweater. They'll rip your Maple Leaf jersey off, the blue jersey, and they wear red for Montreal. They'll be like ripping it off if they're, it'll be shredded in pieces. They're badass. They're crazy fans. Okay, sorry guys. Do you think that Sarah Carbaugh is a credible witness? I do. Do you know if she has changed her description of who she saw on 300 North heading west? I don't think she changed it. I think she clarified some things, but Tony Liggett changed it. Sure as fuck he changed it. Would be the one that interviewed her. Betsy Blair. You think she's credible? Yes. See, Betsy Blair is so credible that she came in for another interview because they didn't listen to her. The first ones, they didn't take her car suggestions. They didn't take her sketch or witness description sketch guy. And then Betsy Blair had to come back on, I believe it was March 7th of 2019 and talk to Tony Liggett again. And Tony Liggett thought it, he needed to write, and then Tony Liggett waits 3 weeks just before some important things happened to write out his narrative of what she came back to say. Like what the fuck do we need his narrative for? She came in to say it. And 3 weeks later, this dipshit gives us his narrative. Like, trust me what she said. Like, no, tell us what she said. Play it for us. Where's the interview? Like verbatim. I want to hear the audio. I want to see the video. She came back in 2019 to give another statement on March 7th of 2019. And then on April 1st, April Fool's Day, Tony Liggett feels it necessary to give us a whole bunch of word gobbledygook sandwich salad crap about what she said when she came in 3 weeks earlier. So, yes. I listened to Robert Non-Secular Ives on a podcast at one point in time, and he said, I think it was after you had left, that there were at least 3 signatures left at the crime scene. Do you agree with that? I have no clue what he's talking about. Like somebody signed their name signature? Hell yeah. Some dipshit. Is he kidding? He's got to be joking. That's one of those bad jokes that just have to. He's being an asshole, obviously, right? I have no clue what he's talking about. Like, look at how smug he is, eh? This is a deposition for a fucking huge murder case. And Ives, we all heard Robert Ives say that all the 3 clues and the non secular, and there's so much goddamn evidence at this crime scene. It's going to be solved so fast. You watch. And he non secular is all he kept saying. And so he says, look at that. What a fucking asshole. He said, "Dear Jerry, I have no clue what he's talking about. I have no idea. Like somebody signed their name signature 3 times. Like, hey, nobody's going to hold me responsible. Go fuck yourself. Judge Carl loves me lying on affidavits and doing whatever the fuck I want. I've got no accountability. I'll be very transparent because I know I'm not going to be held to account. You'd have to ask Rob Ives. Rob non-secular Ives. Good luck finding that fucker. He's been in hiding for years. Go ask him, dipshit. Do you know what a signature for a crime is? I mean, I know like serial killers. Some people would leave. How do you have a signature in one crime? Does the guy carry a pen with him? He's going to sign what? Does he have a Sharpie? Is he signing his autograph? What a fucking asshole. I don't know what he's talking about. Plain dumb, eh? Oh my goodness. You can just feel the smugness dripping off of him. I don't know what he's talking about. He was just our professional prosecutor, the same level of Nick McClelland is now. He said some stuff. No big fucking deal. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do know what signatures are. No, I don't believe that Rob, non-secular Ives, knows what he's talking about. Perfect, yes. Or he's not towing your narrative. Did he speak the truth and you don't like that? Fucking cocks. I won't say that, sorry. This is a fucking asshole. Because that Rob Ives is not, he's bad-mouthing Rob Ives. And Rob Ives was their prosecutor. Like it's not state level, but I mean, a prosecutor is a competent guy. Whether you like him or not, I'm sure is he should have his opinion because he said it. He just was he quit being the prosecutor. I don't know when he gave that interview if he was still prosecutor or he was after he was prosecutor, especially if he said that when he was still prosecutor. But still, even if he just finished and said it, a fucking prosecutor said that, and this guy's blowing him off, just like Click, Murphy, and Ferenczi. And look at that. Ives is missing. Ferenczi's dead. Murphy's afraid to speak. And fucking, who's the other one? Click, yeah, Murphy is probably just towing the line. Click's in jail probably still. I don't even know. Ferenczi's dead. And fucking non-secular Ives is probably disappeared. And we have no clue. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I think he's talking about, whether it's good or bad, is that a signature is something that is left behind that at a crime scene or a murder scene that is important because later on, if the secret of the crime scene has been kept and somebody talks about something that was at the crime scene, the signature that was left behind, then you might be able to connect the two. Okay, is that something that you think could have happened? There was a good signature. I was watching that TV show Elementary. You guys ever see Elementary? And one of them, it's like each hour-long show they solve a murder. And the signature of the murderer, the serial killer, was every time he'd murder somebody, he would like cut their skin in the back of their neck and put a penny under their skin. So they kept that close to and then somebody knew about it. So, that's the type of thing that you hold close to the vest so you can prove, this person knows what they're talking about because the person would cut a slice after he murdered them and put a penny in their like back of their neck or something under the scalp of the hairline, or something. So I don't know as I necessarily agree with your definition of a signature. Oh boy, sure. But what I talked about with Brad earlier is, yeah, we definitely want to keep the evidence. So there's evidence we don't want to get out to because only certain people know what happened. Who are dead, but that's not a signature to me. That's just the evidence that they left behind. Signature to me would be the smiley face killer. This or that. He always leaves a smiley face at every crime scene or something. That's a signature to me. Well, that's kind of true. I mean, he's right there. What was on the tree at the crime scene? Like, I mean, a signature would be if these things were at other crime scenes too. So I'm sort of with Holeman on this one. Yeah, because that smiley face. What do you do? Carve a smiley face in them, or those two different smiley faces, right, Charles? Or something like that. Whatever it was, one of them would carve like a smiley face in them. Anyways, I need a drink, and we need a fresh face up here because Dave is going to steal some hats now. He's swooping down now to steal hats, and he's looking for joggers now. Dave is flapping his silent wings, and he's coming in right now to get a only a running hat. Like regular baseball hats, he doesn't want. It has to be strictly running hats only because they're so different than regular baseball hats. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, neither do I. Please hold. And we're back. Why did Ives get thrown off the case? Well, I mean, they wanted a yes man, and he didn't seem like too much of a yes man. He was just like Click, Ferenczi, and Murphy, who kind of they were ready to tell what was really happening. So they needed to get him out of there, and McClellan stepped in, and boom, look at that. And McClellan, along with Gull, shaped the whole future of this case. Everything. Nick McClellan fucked up so bad. Ellie fucked up so bad. And all of them kept getting promotions and new jobs. And Moon Mullins got a fucking great job as a prosecutor's top assistant. And he's been rewarded going back to chief. And all these fucking guys are going to retire with these huge retirement plans and golden parachutes and all this stuff. And Doolin. Look at Dan Doolin. Dan Doolin had the most epic fuck up in Indiana Department of Natural Resources history, I'm sure, because he talked to the guy who ended up getting 130 years in jail about 8 years later. He talked to that guy 2 days after, and that guy came to him and gave him everything he wanted to have, and he would have come back, he would have cooperated, especially at that time. He came to him, IMEI numbers, phone numbers. He would have let him measure his dick if he was asked nicely. And that motherfucker, he screwed up so epically horrible. Doofus Doolin, he's now the captain. He's now a captain. Write that shit down. The most epic fuck up in all of history. And he's a captain. Wonder Woman. Hey, here we go. Yeah, Wonder Woman. Good morning. You're up on with me. Come on, keep me company, girl. Come up on the highlight with me. You ready? It's a little bit behind. I'm watching now. I'm watching the YouTube. It's a little behind. It's a little behind. Where are you? Oh, there you are. I see you. You're like 10 seconds behind because I'm on StreamYard, but I see you now. Morning, Wonder Woman. Stay with me, girl. You're like my little security blanket up here on screen. Let's do this. Did anybody else come in? Did I miss? Let me just double check before. Oh, my chat is froze up. Oh. Oops. Sorry, guys. Anybody new? Anybody new? Got Wonder Woman going once? I said hi, Lola, right? Sunflower Lola? I'm pretty sure I said hi earlier. Just in case I did. Oh, Jocelyn. Did I say hi to Jocelyn? Oh, you're going good night. Yeah, good night to you if you're still around. But okay. All right. Let's do this. Sorry, guys. It's just you and I, Wonder Woman. Let's do this. What was on the tree at the crime scene, Wonder Woman? It looked like a hand swipe. Some people refer to it as the F tree. We're going to go do the F tree. Let's go. But again, that was also analyzed by the BAU, Purdue professor. We forgot to talk about that. Brad didn't ask me about that, but that was all. That was all in the same evaluation with the sticks and everything else. You know, those sticks that were all over the girls' bodies, and for whatever reason, you know, the killer touched them. The killer put them there for an undoing. to hide the girls from especially the angle of Brad Weber's driveway, or it was a staging. He wanted to misdirect them by staging it as to fake set up Odin, or it was a opposing, which would have been fantasy, which would have been a real somewhat fanboy who kind of believed in some version of Odin. Either 4 reasons that those sticks were on the girl, but we showed up there. We just threw them off to the side because we had no reason to believe they were involved with the crime. Laying there on the girls. We left them out there 5 days. Yet in one of their things, they said that they collected DNA off one of the sticks. So that was kind of confused me. But whatever it is, something sketchy with those fucking guys. And they all said it's not. They're not going to leave any question to it. It's basically what, if they're leaving a signature or if they're leaving a sign that it was a hate crime, you're going to know it. Yeah. Like how the sticks on the girl named Abigail Williams looked exactly like the tattoo on her boyfriend's dad's hand. And he's the same guy who also loved to walk through the forest and listen to the branches and listening for Odin to speak to him through the branches. And he's also the guy who lied about having met Abby and then turned out he did know Abby. And he's also the guy who they lost a shit ton of video evidence on. The interviews in a police station. Yep. That guy. And I'm sure if I thought about it, I'd think of 5 other things that he's fucked up with, done in this case that I believe are related. If they're leaving a signature or if they're leaving a sign that it was a hate crime, oh, look at this, right into a redaction. You're going to know it, and that you couldn't tell. It looked like maybe they cleaned something off. It wasn't distinctly enough to be what you could consider a signature, I guess. So 1-page redactions. Ooh, 2-page redactions. And, 2 pages of redactions. And then Holeman says this. We're told. What are the Odinites, which are the little... What do you call the things that they use? You said a star? Have you ever heard of any names or of what their alphabet is? No, because honestly, the Odinism thing to me was covered by the Purdue professor. Other people would bring it up. It would be in the back of my mind if something come up in the investigation. There were some people that had weird photos on their Facebook. Yeah, that would be the one dead girl's boyfriend's father. And he sent in somebody sent in a screenshot, a civilian who thought it was odd. 3 months after the murders, sent in a screenshot of the girl's boyfriend's father, the dead girl's boyfriend's father. Somebody took a screenshot of his social media, his tattoo on his hand, and Ryan Boucher sent it in, a civilian, and Ryan Winters in ISP Unified Command received that and immediately thought it looked like the real stick configuration on Abigail Williams. He thought so much about it that he flagged Holder. He flagged his identification. He searched him and he pulled it up and he wanted him to be further investigated. Yep, but nothing to see here. And it turns out he's walking through the forest. He told Roland Purdy and Lourdes that he's walking through the forest, listening to the branches, listening for Odin to speak to him through the branches. Nothing to see here, guys. It's all in your head. The defense made all this shit up. So we would look into that. But to me, I'm going to tell you that through our investigation, my opinion is I agree with the Purdue professor. No, you didn't. You lied about the Purdue professor. You fucking liar. You lied in your affidavit. You said you didn't know who was. The Purdue, you couldn't tell. You didn't know who it was, if it was even a he or her. And you said they said stuff they didn't. Oh, and you left out stuff they did say. And so you lied by omission, you lied by obfuscation, you lied in the alternative. Right. I'm sorry, you lied by omission and you lied in the alternative about what he said. And you lied by obfuscation by pretending you didn't even know if it was a guy or a girl, Professor Turco. You knew fucking full well who he was, or you couldn't even get a hold of him. And Judge Gull, no problem. You did that in a sworn affidavit in a court of law. Judge Gull had no problems with that. Yet Brad Rosie almost gets shit canned for Andrew Baldwin. He almost gets shrapnel shit firing for Andrew Baldwin sending an email to the wrong B-R-A, Brandon. And Judge Gull fucked up and said it was to the wrong Brad in her findings. And she fucked up, so fire her. Because there was only one Brad. It wasn't the wrong Brad. It was the wrong Brandon. So apparently, mistakes are okay on one side, and accountability is only upheld on the other. I mean, how do you fucking win a trial with that? I agree with the BIU. I agree with the other two that came up and analyzed the evidence. And I agree with the U.S. Marshal BAU. It's not a hate crime. It's not something that, now, we would look into it if something comes up. Absolutely. I'm going to take a quick, I'll finish this. So you're then thinking it's based upon these experts, Odinism had nothing to do with that crime scene? That's what I believe. Did you ever look at anybody, experts, try to find experts that might push back on those one-page redaction? Okay. So I'm just going to take a quick break, grab a drink, guys. And we're back. So how are you guys doing? Everything good? Are you guys having fun? This is the craziest depo I've ever heard. Thank you. Like, you mean the wording or my performance? Or a bit of both. It's called Bedtime Stories with Shibby, the depositions of a fat man, the depositions of a dick hole man. So, anybody new? Who's got a great comment here? Let's see. Sunflower, perfect timing. There you go, girl. Come on in. Coming in hot. Coming in hot. They so dumb, they found a jury more dumb. Boom. There we go. Lola. 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 You stick with me, girl. You're on screen now. You're my new security blanket. You're keeping me company on screen, okay? I know you guys love that. And away we go. It's just you and I, Lola. Nobody else but you and I here. Just the two of us. You and I. And the sticks on top of her, you don't think, according to your experts, they're not formed into anything other than, what did you call it? Covering? Undoing. Like, undoing. Can you, I don't know if anybody wants to, Nicole or whatever, like the definition of undoing. Is that like, can it be many things, like just covering up because the guy felt bad, or is it actually religious in tone too? Because we know it's like, like he covers like the neck because he feels bad because maybe they care, he wants to not see it. Or is it also religion, or can it be both? Both? Undoing. I just don't buy that. Undoing, like, I mean, because like if you feel bad and you want to be an undoing, like, wouldn't you put something nice around, like maybe her clothing back on, or this, where's her shirt? Like, cover it with it. Like, why would you cover it like that and leave? So it's kind of it kind of goes against the whole philosophy of the person is an undoing because they're trying to reverse what they did. Well, maybe cover, you feel bad, maybe cover her, privates up, and you don't have to get her shirt back on, but maybe lay it over nicely, and that would be a kind of a good, more of an undoing than fucking branches. undoing. Is that right? Yeah. Some people say he got interrupted, was trying to cover them up. Yeah. The van came home and scared him around 2:30. So he was so frightened. He ran across the creek, stayed around for a whole other hour and 20 minutes, and did a whole bunch of shit that was so unnecessary. He was frightened. He stayed around for an hour and 20 minutes in the daylight. And then, scared out of his mind, he walked down the middle of the road in the middle of the day. A busy road. Yep. That's what happened. And to evade cameras, because we know a business only has one camera pointing out at the street, they wouldn't have multiple cameras pointing every which way. They have one camera. So he either leaped over, like in one jump, he jumps right over the Hoosier Harbor store, you know, and he does it. He evades the cameras. And then he lands and he walks to his car, bloody and muddy, avoiding all cameras in the middle of the day because he's so afraid. Yep. That happened. Have you ever seen this? I'm going to mark this as Exhibit B. Defendant's Exhibit B was marked for identification. The witness, Dick Holeman. Yep. And now Mr. Baldwin's back up. Okay. So that's, can you describe that, what that is for the record? Looked like a poorly drawn asterisk on somebody. So he's even saying it looks like an asterisk. So he said the sticks look like an asterisk, and the girl's boyfriend's father, who lied about knowing her and is into Odin, has that same asterisk shape tattooed on his hand and admitted 3 months after to other police officers that he walks through the forest listening for the Odin to speak to him through the branches. And these motherfuckers have Richard Allen in jail. That's wild. Fucking wild stuff. 130 years. And this fucking guy's running around the streets, Brad Holder. Do you know whose website that was on our Facebook page? Looks like Brad Holder. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. April the 17th, 2017. February, March, April. 2 months after he's posting that shit. 2 months after the murders, he's posting a fucking tattoo of his hand that looks exactly like the sticks on Abigail Williams, who is the dead girl, and coincidentally, she's also the girlfriend of his son that he said he'd never met. Yet turns out he in his next interview he said he did meet her, and then he's admitting to running around in the woods, listening to the branches so Odin could speak to him. Holy fuck! Holy fuck! This sounds so wild. Mm-hmm. See, Holeman agrees with me too. Yes. We both agree with you, Shibby. Yes, I agree with you too, Shibs. Okay. So, Mr. McClellan jumps in. Is there a question about that exhibit, or do you just want him to identify it or mark it up, whatever? And Baldwin says, I'm going to ask, I've got another question. I got these side by side now. So the defendant's Exhibit C was marked for identification. Mr. Baldwin's up to bat. So you're familiar with that. Is that right? You're familiar with Exhibit B? I'm sure I've seen these before. Yeah. I've got these now side by side, 280. So Brad Holder, side 280. Side by side, 280. It looks like to me about 4 or 5 weeks after these girls are murdered, has put on his hand or on somebody's hand what you would call an asterisk. Maybe you might call it that. We call that a Hagel rune or a Hagel rune. Call that a Hagel rune or Hagel rune. You probably pronounce it differently. Haggle or Haggle or whatever. Have you ever heard of Haggle? Nope. Okay. What do you think of that? I mean, it's a stretch that you could say that's the exact same formation. You know, it's not a stretch, asshole, because fucking Ryan Winters, an ISP officer, first thing he thought was that he had nothing related to. He took those tips on light duty sitting on Unified Command because he had a bad back or whatever. ISP officer Ryan Winters, who had seen the real stick configuration of Abby's sticks, he immediately flagged that tattoo photo because it looked just like the sticks that were placed on Abby. What do you say about that? So he's like, the exact same formation. You know, let me read that again. Okay, what do you think of that? I mean, it's a stretch that you could say that's the exact same formation. And that's what a lot of people are doing. But I'm going to stick by what the experts told me because I'm no expert in this. And the experts tell me that you would not have a question because that doesn't look exactly like that. You fucking asshole. So why can they just Ryan Winters, an ISP officer, like, why isn't he trustworthy? He said it. He freaked out when he saw that. He went up the line and he flagged Brad Holder and started searching his name and asked for them to re-interview him and all that stuff. And that's why Purdy and Lourdes went out back to talk to him because he was cleared, but they went back to talk to him anyways because he was, they found new stuff, like Holeman even says. And they go find this fucking guy and he says to them, yeah, I walk around the woods and I listen to Odin speaking to me. I listen to the branches so I can hear listening for Odin to speak to me. And Jerry's sitting here saying there's fucking nothing to see here. Oh my God. Am I overreacting here, guys? Or is this nuts? Which is closer, that the two side-by-sides there in Exhibit C or the Sketch 1 and Sketch 2? Which looks more like the other? Sketch 1 and 2 to me. Yeah. Sorry, Sketch 1 and 2? Yeah. That doesn't look any closer to that formation than two white males similar age and build. And this photo leaves out a stick. It does. Stick right here going across her here. That's not in there. So, and another thing, like the sticks may not be exactly how they were, you know, like as if when they searchers found them, like you wouldn't really think about it. You would kind of like, you wouldn't care about the sticks. You would maybe even throw them off one or two because you're like, oh my God, we should check her pulse. Like, is she still alive? Is there a chance that, you know, I mean, it would take you a second. I'm sure somebody had, you know, they weren't worrying about those sticks. They weren't preserving, you know, because they wanted to see if they were still alive, I'm sure. Especially Abby, all dressed like that, you know. It's possible she was still alive. So I can guarantee you those sticks got bumped around a bit. And they probably did that intentionally because they knew it maybe look less convincing, in my opinion. Nothing to see there, right? I don't agree with that analogy, I guess. I need a drink. Sorry, 1 second. And we're back. Who's in chat? Anyone new? Oh, where's all my whose parents had a sense of humor? Nobody knew? Free Peach? Oh, uh-oh, what happened? Uh-oh. What? Somebody was a bad boy. What did you say? Carter is better than all you. This is good call, Nicole. You got rid of that guy, right? Hit him forever. Good. Yeah. Did that person even say hi? What? Dude. Good call, Nicole. Yep. He's gone forever. Man, if you at least said hi first, we might have, you know. Dipshit says Doug Carter's better than all you looser. Ooh, we should put that up on screen because he's spelling it. He's calling us losers, and he's spelling it looser. Yo, dude, you're a loser. Call me a loser? You're a loser, bruh. I want to see you up on screen because I still have that. Fucking loser. True Grit. Here, let's read that, everyone. Let's read that out loud. Doug Carter is better than all you looser put together. Can't even put a fucking period at the end of that, you dipshit. True Grit says, Doug Carter is better than all you loser put together. Dude, good call, Nicole. Way to go. You're awesome. See, I wouldn't even notice that. And if I was here by myself, that dipshit would probably have been writing a bunch of more shit for the 5 minutes I didn't notice he was here. So there you go. I'm going to read that again. Doug Carter is better than all you loser put together. No period. No exclamation point. Let's get rid of that guy. Fuck him. So here. Yes. There's a better one. Dandy Lioness comes in hot. Coming in hot. Here comes Dandy Lioness. Looser. Got that big L. You know how you make the L with your hand? Looser. Yes, that's staying up there. Dandy Lioness. 78. Were you born in 78? I was born in 73. I'm 52. So that makes you 47, right? Cool. Let's go. Sorry. A looser. True Grit, you're a loser. You're a big loser. With a capital 7. With a capital OO. With 2 O's. You're a double loser. You're so loose. You're a really, really big loser. Nothing to see there, right? I don't agree with the analogy, I guess. So there's something to see. Is there something to see there or not? Well, obviously there's pictures in front of me to see, but you're not going to convince me that that's the same drawing. Through my experience and the information I've got from the professionals, that doesn't look anything like whatever you called that. But sketch 1 and sketch 2 do look like, I think sketch 1 and 2 look similar, yeah. So Baldwin says, I'm going to move to admit those, or I'll admit those. And some exhibit, blah, blah, blah. Baldwin keeps going. I'm going to send you B or D. I'm sorry. Can you tell me what D is? Did is a picture. So he's trying to, D is a picture of a tree with blood splattered on it, with blood rubs, blood drops, with blood rubs and blood drops. Is that from the crime scene? Yes, it is. You're familiar with it? I am. Something else here, blah, blah, blah. Defendant, blah, blah, blah. Exhibit. I'm sending you E. I'm going to represent to you. Have you seen that before? I think so, yeah. I think this is what we talked about earlier, what people had pictures on. We'd get tips about people having weird formations and things on there, yeah. Ooh, is this going to be pictures of Brad Holder's hand tattoo? Just regular people. Oh, yeah, here. Now I'm going to give you the side-by-side, yeah. That's off Brad Holder's page, right? Yes. You've seen that? Absolutely. Here's a side-by-side. Do you think those look alike? I wish they'd told us what they were comparing. So I have a feeling it's Brad Holder's hand tattoo and the stick configuration on his son's girlfriend. Dead body. The one he never met before, but actually did meet. Those branches. It's the same kind of branches he listens to have listens for Odin's voice to speak to him in the woods through the branches. Nothing to see here, kids. I can see a little bit of similarities there, but like I said, from your professionals, it would be no question. And this kind of looks like an F over here. So this kind of looks like, I think it's kind of an F. Did you ever give the experts, as you call them, any of these photos that I've provided to you off Brad Holder's website or Facebook page? I don't know. To compare them? I don't know. Should you have done that if you didn't? Not necessarily, because Brad Holder's been eliminated because he was at work. Oh, what a fucking guy. Oh my. Wow. See, he says it. Well, Brad Holder's been eliminated. But then he was eliminated because we found he's at work. But then, like you even said yourself, we unclear people when in light of new evidence. And this fucking Boucher guy sends in a shit ton of photos, and Holder's posting photos of his hand tattoo that looks eerily similar, enough to alert your own ISP officer, Ryan Winters. It piqued his interest enough to flag his name, run his ID, and request that they bring him in for another interview or whatever. So he uncleared him basically by doing this, because Ryan Winters saw the original crime scene photos before any of this, and then he immediately thought, oh man, this guy's hand tattoo looks exactly like her stick. And I don't even know if he knew that this guy's son was the same girl's boyfriend. So that he might not have even known that. All he did was say in his deposition that he had seen the real crime scene photos of Abigail Williams, and he believed that this guy's hand tattoo, Brad Holder's hand tattoo, looked so reminiscent and similar to the stick configuration on Abigail Williams, who just happened to be his son's girlfriend, that he just happened to have lied about knowing. I'm going to repeat that every time, guys, because that's fucked up. Yeah? Who's the looser now? True Grit? Where's that True Grit motherfucker? Oh, did you get somebody else? Or is that... where's that asshole? True Grit, you're the looser. We're tighter. Let's read that again. Should you have done that if you didn't? Not necessarily, because Brad Holder's been eliminated. Ooh, eliminated. He's not even saying cleared or covered. He's saying eliminated. So like eliminated, that's, I hope I should read more. Let's see. He's looking to let him off on that. Because remember before they almost had an argument about saying cleared and covered and stuff. So like if you cleared somebody or you covered them, that means they're kind of cleared, but they were arguing about how to call it. And this motherfucker says eliminated. Like that's a definite word. He's been eliminated. We eliminated Brad Holder as a suspect. Eliminated. Because he was at work. You ever heard of a guy named Charles Manson? I do know. I've heard of him. I don't know him personally. Was he present at the crime scenes? Not all the time. No, I don't think so. Did anybody in Unified Command ever think, I wonder if that alibi is accurate? That maybe, just maybe, that Holder was directing other people? Did that conversation ever happen? Oh, yeah, absolutely. It did. Yeah. Apparently, that was ruled out as a possibility. There's no evidence. We have no evidence indicating that he was commanding people to go kill people. I mean, ask Richard Allen if Brad Holder told him to go kill the girls. Oh, what a fucking asshole. He's getting mad. He's getting mad. He's protecting Brad Holder over Richard Allen. I mean, ask Richard Allen if Brad Holder told him to go kill the girls. I mean, you guys communicate with the guy that killed the girls. So if he's saying that, then get Richard Allen and Brad Holder, not just. So that's where you can, right there, boom. He fucking tells on himself there. He tells on himself so bad because he's admitting to say, oh, your guy is the guy, not mine. But my guy, in my scenario, my guy tells your guy to go kill the girls. So go get that guy. And this guy, he's been cleared. Even though he just told him to go kill the girls. And he goes and kills the girls. I mean, if somebody else did that, if I told you to go kill those girls and you went and killed them, they would hem you up so bad. But in his own scenario, as he's trying to protect him, he fucking throws him under the bus in his dipshit scenario. If I was talking to the guy that killed those girls, I would be sure to ask that. You have, absolutely you have. So he's sitting there being so smug, insisting that, because Rosie's saying, I haven't talked to that guy because my guy's innocent. And he's saying, yeah, you have, because I know he did it. Absolutely, you have. You don't need to look any further. We got him. I believe that you think that. I believe that you think that. I know that. All the evidence indicates clearly that. Do you know what tunnel vision is? Ooh, I remember this. I do. I preached about not getting tunnel vision, and we have given you thousands of pages of reports that we focused on many different people. So tell me about Amber Holder. Do you know about her? Very little. I'll tell you a story about her, Amber, and see if you know this story. Amber Holder, this is from your police reports. Okay. Has said that she started dating Brad. Tell me if you know the story, because I don't want to belabor it, but she started dating Brad Holder in late February 2017, about a week or two before he had ended a friendship with Patrick Westfall. Do you know that story? Familiar. I have to review the report you're referring to see if you're being truthful with me. Okay, I got it. And McClellan jumps in. Are you going to have him review the report now? And Baldwin says, sure. Do you want to take a break so I can go and take care of my other obligations in court? You see, now, you know how this sounds familiar? Because I know this, I felt like I would have read this, but I can tell right here, I do not remember Baldwin saying he has to go take a break. So it's almost like McClellan's jumped in a bunch of times in other depositions, but I don't recall Baldwin ever saying he had to go take a break because he's had obligations in court. So that makes me think that as similar as these sound, there are different ones. Like I'm not rereading the same things over again. But I guess when they talk about stuff like what Amber Holder said, it's going to sound similar to the previous depositions. But so Baldwin says, sure, absolutely. McClellan says, sounds like it's going to take him 15, 20 minutes to do that. Baldwin says, he can read the whole thing in 15, 20 minutes. See, I don't recall this whole little, whatever they call it, volley of questions back and forth, conversation. So Baldwin, he can read the whole thing in 15, 20 minutes. If you need to know where I'm particularly talking about, it's on page 9, I believe. Yes, 9. But if you want to read the whole thing, because I might be asking you questions about everything. And a reason was taken. So that's good. I do not recall saying that at all. So there's proof that I'm not an idiot reading the same stuff over and over again, like I was thinking myself this whole time. 1 second. Sorry. And we're back. Anyone new? Anyone fresh? Everything okay? Mimi still here? Nicole still dropping emojis? Everyone's happy? Doug Carter, I don't know about Doug Carter. I don't think Doug Carter's stupid as much as Mullen and Doolin would be, or even Holeman. I think Doug Carter would be more the smarter of them. I just think he's helping them spin a narrative, and I don't know why he would do it. He is a little the tongue licking, and he's quirky, and maybe that people have quirks, right? But I think Carter fooled a lot of people because I could see how people could think he's a really good guy, like that person coming and protecting him. And what if that was even Doug Carter? Hey, maybe it was Doug Carter and he is stupid and can't spell loser. See, slow. Okay, don't know him personally. Who has not? So we got Danny Linus. Let's find someone. So it's either not many people to choose from. Ooh. Almost. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Ooh, not bad. Double O loser. There. Nicole. Oh, sorry. No. Oh, Yeah. Nicole gets up. Double O loser. You're such a loser. You're a loser with two O's. You're such a loser. You're loose. Or okay, sorry. So you just spent the last several minutes reading what we've marked as Defendant's Exhibit G, which will be attached and made a part of this deposition. You've said off the record that you've never seen that document before. It looks like it's in a Word document, not state police report, which is what you guys have right there. The one in front of you, the one in front of Mr. Rosie. And I bet he doesn't pronounce his name right, but he says Mr. Razzi. Those state police reports, this looks like a Word document. Word documents don't come to me. Ooh, excuse me. I'm familiar with some of the information in here. I've never seen this report. That was another thing people were saying. I think they're not supposed to use Word documents for their reports, but all of them were doing it. I heard that somewhere yesterday. Let's go through some of the stuff. I want to figure out what you are and are not familiar with. Okay. Were you familiar with Amber Holder's story? Yes. So, Amber Holder tells a story about how the friendship between Brad Holder and Westfall ended because of something that happened in a ritual in the woods by a creek sometime in mid-February, correct? Yeah, I forgot about this too. Every time I say that whole Brad Holder stuff, I should add this too, because this just makes it even more crazy. A woman comes and says her ex said all this shit. The same guy who lied about knowing his son's girlfriend. The same guy with the same tattoo, extremely reminiscent of the stick configuration on said girl. The same guy who says he walks through the forest, listening to the branches, listening for Odin to speak to him through the branches. Also told this girl, they should give her a lie detector, did they? Anyway. So Amber Holder tells a story about how the friendship between Brad Holder and Westfall ended because of something that happened in a ritual in the woods by a creek sometime in mid-February, correct? Yep, page 9. Is that where you're at? Yes. You were aware of that before today? I was not aware of all of it. I was aware that Amber was interviewed. I haven't seen this. I was aware that Amber was saying that there was a falling out between Patrick because of the ritual that went wrong. Whew. Did you know the time frame of the ritual that went wrong that Amber Holder spoke about to the state trooper about was around the same time the girls were murdered? No, I did not recall that. Does that bother you? Yeah, it really bothers me. Okay. Now we're on to something. Now we're on to something. Did you know that this ritual that she talked about on page 9 of Exhibits G took place in the woods near a river? Nope. Does that bother you? Yep. Really bothers me. Bothers me so much that your guy killed the girls. What, if anything, are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to search for more state police reports, find out why this report wasn't submitted through the... So he's admitting it on the stand. He knows he's got to say that it's a big deal and oopsie, it's just another mistake. I'll read that again. Sorry. So he's admitting it that it's a big deal on the stand. Well, I'm going to search for more state police reports, find out why this really important report wasn't submitted through the RMS system, why this was given like this. And I think that would probably be Murphy and Purdy can answer more questions, see if there's possibly was more follow-up on Westville and these individuals that I don't know about. Yeah, Purdy and Lourdes went and talked to this fuckface that you're not even saying his name here, the other one, and he told him that he listens to Odin, he listens for Odin's voice to talk to him through the branches of trees. Did Murphy ever tell you, or did anybody from Purdy or Ferenczi, did they ever tell you that story about what Amber Holder said? Like I said, I'm familiar with parts of it. I remember hearing some of it, but not the details that you were talking about. Oh, so you remember hearing part of it, just not the details. Whoa, fucking double talk there. I would presume if you heard those details, so he heard the words, but just not the details. Like he didn't put two and two together, you know. Something that would have triggered something in how you would have handled this. Could have been when somebody else. When was this? Do you know when this was submitted? When it was what? Submitted. All I can tell you is this is the document I got from Discovery, from you fucking guys, from you. You gave this to me, and now you're asking me when I got it. You dumb motherfucker. All right, that's what I'm saying. This is in RMS form, so I wouldn't get to review it. And there was always a period of time when I was in Washington, D.C., when Bob Burgess was reviewing reports. I'd never seen this report. Like I said, it's not an official. So they write. There they go. They knew at the time they could write it on an unofficial Word document. And then when it came time for the defense to use that as their leverage, or they could say that's not on, you can't use it because it's not on. We didn't write it on the right format or whatever. So you can't use our evidence because we didn't write it in the proper format or in the proper document or whatever. Oh man. I appreciate that you're bothered by the form of the report. I do. Are you bothered more by the form of the report or the fact that you didn't know that Amber Holder told a story that in mid-February, Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal had a falling out over something that happened by a river in the woods in some type of ritual? Like, Rosie just can't believe that this guy, he's like, Rosie must have thought he scored a touchdown this day because of all the stupid shit he says. And Gull turns around and says, no, nothing to see here. Isn't that amazing? I feel that Rosie's like feeling he's scored a couple touchdowns because of the stupid shit Holeman has kind of admitted to, including this last one here about, it really would have got me upset, but it can't because it's written on the wrong format. It's written in Word, not Excel, something stupid like that. I'm bothered that I didn't know all the details. I knew the Cliff Notes version, where I knew Patrick Westphal and Brad Holder had a falling out. I recall that. Oh, yeah. So he knew, he'll admit he knew they had a falling out. But, about it being by a river, a ritual, that eluded him. Must have slipped through. Cracks. Oops. Have you ever heard of Johnny Messer? No. You don't know who Johnny Messer is? Oh, sorry. You don't know who Johnny Messer is? I never heard that name. To this very day, you don't know who Johnny Messer is. I've heard some of these names in here that we are referring to, but Johnny Messer is not on my radar. Doesn't mean I haven't heard it, but you got to take in consideration I got about 100,000 names through my head. Whew. And there's still space, eh? Still lots of empty space. Sure. And I studied the ones that you guys provided, and those weren't provided, so I didn't have a chance to look up. Like the email that I got from Mr. Rosie allowed me to look up those reports and have me familiar with. That's why I was able to give as much information about those people, but I didn't get these names. Elvis I did, Brad I did, but not whatever else. Can you tell? I can tell you there's 3 things minimally that took place. Elvis Fields in Delphi. I can tell you there's 3 things minimally that place Elvis Fields in Delphi. 3. Okay. I'm going to tell you one of them. All right. Johnny Messer. You would have to confirm that with Mr. Murphy, Trooper Murphy and Trooper Purdy, because they're ones that did the investigation and never did. They tell us that they had direct connection with this Mr. Messer. guy you're referring to that I recall. What is his connection to Delphi? Well, Messer is the one of the recruiters for the Odinites, and he's from Rushville, which is down south. Oh, sorry. Which is down south. Elvis was from Connorsville. He's from Rushville. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure we met him down. Oh, they screwed up here. So the question, I bet you this is answer, then question, not, So question. Well, Messer is the one of the recruiters for the Odinites, and he's from Rushville. Because he was kind of stating something. So it must have screwed them up. So this should be answer. Holeman, I believe, is saying, which is down south. And I believe Rosie or Baldwin is saying the question here. And not in question form, but he's kind of just stating something. Elvis was from Connorsville. He's from Rushville. And then Holmes like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure we met him down and around Connorsville. Does that bother you that there is a connective tissue between Delphi and Elvis Fields down in Rushville? I don't think that proves anything at this point. You're just telling me. I'm not asking you whether it proves anything. I'm asking you whether you're bothered by it. Not really. I think I can look into it and probably find some reports that were more accurate and in a timely manner that was followed up on. So you think this is inaccurate? What's contained in? I mean, I just don't like that it's in a word. Oh, you fucking guy. I can't do it. Wow. So their own document, he doesn't like what they wrote in the wrong type of format. I mean, it's from them. I mean, I just don't like that it's in a Word document. We're not supposed to submit these in Word documents. We're supposed to use our RMS that they can be. This was never approved by whoever. It would be me, Sergeant Buckley, so this information was never reviewed by me. And I'd love to go back, and let's go back and see on different cases or trials how many times Holeman, when he wanted to, the information, when it was in his favor or it supported his narrative, how many times he got over the fact that it was written in a Word document, So it's almost like, let's write everything in Word document. So when it's something we don't like, we can just discredit it. These fucking guys are so dirty. What a fucking scumbag. I guarantee you. I bet you he's using tons of shit in that same document format. It's like having their cake and eat it too. Richard Allen is feigning his illness, yet we need to force feed him Halidol injections. Yep. Did you ever hear that? I guess I know the answer to this, and I think Johnny Messer, Taylor Hornaday, let Johnny borrow her car on Valentine's Day, 13th and 14th time frame. When he came back from being up here in Delphi, he had blood on his car. Just what I read in that very little. Does that bother you? I mean, it doesn't bother me. It concerns me a little bit. Holy fuck. So around the time these girls were murdered, some guy who we can kind of link to this borrowed someone's car, came back with blood all over it. He just doesn't give a fuck. Yet Richard Allen has a blue coat. And boom. It concerns you a little bit? Yeah. Are you trying to convince me that somebody else killed the two girls? I'm going to try to convince you that Richard Allen killed these girls. Like, why are you trying to convince him? Why don't you just lay your evidence out? Stand behind it. Who are you trying to convince? And if somebody were to come to you and say, you may have it wrong, I can tell you're not going to change your mind because you're so tunnel vision, the tunnel vision that you just talked about not using is fucking, you're steeped in tunnel vision, bud. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are. Oh boy, I was only kidding, but he did actually come back with that. I didn't see that. So he's like, I know you are. I know you are. Wait, I know you are. And I think what you're trying to do, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not going to admit to, he's got him razzled, eh? This would be a great time for a redaction, but he's got Jerry. He almost cracked Holeman. You see that? I could just tell Rosie's enjoying this. I know you are, and I know what you're trying to do. He's like, I'm not trying to do anything. He's probably laughing at this point. He's like, I'm not going to admit to other than let you start investigating this file. Wow. Other than let you start investigating this finally. Oh, we've been investigating it, sir. Like he really wants to, you just know he wants to fucking start pounding the desk like he did earlier. He's probably biting his tongue. He probably took a bunch of sedatives and whatever the calming pills before he went into this, because he'd be beating the desk right up right now if this were an interrogation. Rosie cracked him. Rosie. Well, how do you know about this thing? You don't even know about this. Because this is not a state police official document. Oh my God. But you assholes wrote it on the wrong document. Go back and put it on the right document. I mean, you can use your narrative to remember years and months ago about what Richard Allen said and put it on whatever you want. Or Liggett can go back a month or two and remember what Betsy Blair even said and then write it on the proper form document. So fucking go, take 5 minutes, go back there, get proper form, and write it down again, and then give it to him so he can use it, because it's your fucking work. Imagine that, taking your test back to the teacher and saying, like, I wrote the answers in the wrong spot, but you have to mark it right, or it's not, it's wow. Let's talk about a document that you are familiar with. Okay. Mr. Baldwin. Here's H. Before I give it to you, have you ever heard of Ryan Boucher? Ooh, okay. I'm going to pause here for a second, get a drink. So you guys can think about it. Ryan Boucher is the civilian who took all the screenshots of Brad Holder's social media. A couple months after, not knowing who Holder probably even was, or he must have known something, because something piqued his interest to screenshot everything Holder was writing about, especially Odin, I guess. Not even Odin, because he also screenshotted the gym check-in at 2 a.m. and stuff like that. So maybe it was just everything that really piqued his interest. Mostly Odin stuff. But so that's who Ryan Boucher is. And Ryan Boucher emailed it to the Unified Command, and that's where Ryan Winters, light duty guy, received it. One sec. And we're back. Only 12 people, but I guess, that's not bad, because we did start at a really weird time tonight, right? So to have 12 people. Ryan Boucher is from my good old state. Yeah, was it Georgia? Yep. I figured it was down. Yes, it was in Discovery. Like if they had a form that was in Discovery from them, why didn't they just put it in the correct format? Because you could just tell how dirty these guys are. Right? Because I guarantee you that motherfucker's using, or they would do that if it was something they wanted. They would just either put it in the right format, or they would say, it doesn't matter. So ambiguous. They can kind of choose. Oh, did free speech leave? That was 6:17, and 6:28. That was over 10 minutes ago. So I guess I'll say goodnight, but I'm sure you're not around to hear it. Or you're going back to lay down. Maybe you are hearing it. So Free Peach, here. You've been cool. Going back to lay down again. Free Peach, I'm putting you back up on screen. You said it at 16, which is a long time ago. But if you're hearing this, just know you're on screen with me again. You keep me company. So if you're laying down, just know that you're here with me, us. And Nicole is saying it's pronounced Boucher. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Boucher. That's how I'd always say it. I mean, up here in Canada, we'd always say the CH is like a sh. Or B ouch er. Are you saying it's pronounced B ouch er? Boucher? Are you saying it's pronounced Boucher? Yeah, that's what guys do. Oh, ouch. Yeah. So it would be Bouch. Boucher? You think that says Boucher? No. Nope. I mean, it's their name. They can say it's pronounced any way they want, I guess. But really, and if it was Boucher, what's a word that would say what's Boucher? What's another word like Boucher? There is no other words, eh? I mean, it's their name. If their parents could say that, I've seen people do that. Even Rosie does it, because technically, as an Italian guy, it would be Ruzzi or Rotzi. Those two Z's. But he wants it to be sound like Rosie. It sounds more, North American, right? But anytime you put a Boucher there, it's Boucher, in my opinion. Because just like there's that Boston Bruins guy. He's a Canadian guy, and his name is Brad Marchand, Marchand, but he pronounces it Marchand because I'm sure he was in Boston for so long and he wanted to sound like I don't even know what I'm saying. Let's go. Here's H before I give it to you. Have you ever heard of Ryan Boucher? There, Nicole. That's for Nicole. Ryan Boucher. Sounds familiar. Do you know who he is? I know a lot of people. Do you have a picture of him? No. Go ahead and read that. Take a second. Yep, I'm familiar with this. Yeah. So that is Exhibit H that I'm referring to, correct? Yes. Now that you've reviewed it, doesn't that refresh your recollection? Yes, I remember talking to Ryan Winters about this. I remember him. I remember reviewing his report and passing information on whether Brad Holder was re-interviewed. Ooh, this is that part I was talking about. I don't know. At that time, we were having a lot of tips, and this may have been put back with that information. I'd have to review more reports to see if we have anything else. Wow, yeah, because, he probably wasn't happy with Winters. Because Winters he told the truth. Ryan Winters is the guy that received Boucher's photos of Holder's hand tattoo, and he immediately jumped out of his chair probably and said, "Holy fuck, that tattoo on his hand. I remember seeing those photos of Abby. It looks exactly like that." He was like almost alarmed. And he's an ISP officer. So now, do you remember the part of where it says the provided media is on page 2 of Exhibit H? The provided media pictures show unknown young girls believed to be deceased with sticks placed over their bodies. So now they're talking about the fake ones with the purple dress, the ones that aren't their real Abby and Libby crime scene photos. It's the one with the purple dress. More than likely, they're play LARPing in the forest, and he asked them to lay down and so he can take a photo of them for whatever reason, or maybe he got the photo from somewhere. I don't even know, but it was the one with the purple dress that came in the volley of info along with the hand tattoo photo. So don't make the mistake of thinking that this Winters guy didn't make a mistake and mix it up. Winters was comparing his hand tattoo with the real crime scene photos. He explicitly says that in his deposition. Not just me blowing smoke out of my ass, too. Yep. You ever look at that photo? I did not look at it. I believe that the people that we're working on this Odinism thing did. We had those people looking at it. So defendant's exhibit, blah, blah. So you were aware of it when you talked to Winters. You were aware of the photo, correct? Man, this is getting interesting. Fuck. I don't know if I was aware of it at the time or if this sparked my interest. But yeah, I knew they had some photos, which I mentioned that earlier, that they had odd photos and things like that. But you don't remember looking at it? I've looked at a lot of photos. I more than likely did, but I don't remember. We didn't get any in the discovery. We didn't get it in discovery. Oh, at least we didn't see it. So we drove down to Georgia and interviewed Mr. Boucher. Yeah, because they forgot. You know what? That's funny, because I've heard that a million times, but it just dawned on me that they 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 couldn't find it. It might be a discovery buried deep in those files, but they had to go down there and get it themselves. Yet we know that Boucher sent it to them. Yet for some reason they tried to can that. They tried to suppress it. Sounds like, because it was so inflammatory towards Brad Holder, because Winters thought so when he saw it. Yet then, so one of the police officers accidentally said the truth, and then all of a sudden, the defense can't find those photos. They have to rush down and drive down there themselves to get it. And I'm not sure why he couldn't just email them like he did the first time. Okay. And this is what he says that he repeated to Winters. Have you looked at that? Have you seen that? I don't think I have. No, I may have. That's exhibit I mark correct. Oh, he's nailing him. He's got him pinned down here. And look, a redaction. Oh my God. I'm going to fucking I can't take it. How these guys didn't flip out. He's got him pinned down, ready to admit some bullshit. You can just tell. Because he's saying to him about the photos that triggered Winters to flag Holders and triggered him to ask for Holder to be re-interviewed, triggered him to take it to his up and ups and start searching Holder in the database and running his name, which he even says in his deposition. Those same photos that triggered Winters to do all that on Brad Holder weren't easily found or found at all in discovery. So much so that Rosie and Baldwin had to drive down to Georgia themselves to get it. And right when he's about to start saying some shit, we get a whole page of redactions. And they're coming out talking about the other picture of the two girls or kids or whatever in the purple dress that eerily similar to stuff, but not, So he's pissed off at him. So that are being portrayed as injured would bother me. Are you being serious? I mean, you don't look at that and think that has anything to do, that's even worth investigating Brad Holder? We did. Okay. Yeah. Like, I mean, a couple months after, forget the hand tattoo that looks exactly like Abby's stick configuration on the dead girl's boyfriend's father's hand that has said he never met her, and then he actually did, and has said that he listens to the branches. He's listening for Odin to speak to him through the branches. The picture with sticks on girls laying down in a forest doesn't bother him at all. He just cleared him. He's cleared. So, okay. And when was Brad Holder covered? You'd have to look at the reports. I don't know. You'd have to look at it. Was he being looked at in October of 2017? October of 2017 was at the FBI National Academy of Quantico, Virginia, and Bob Burgess was in charge of the investigation until December when I got back. I know before that he was okay. So after that, while other people were in control of the investigation during that time frame, you'd have to ask them. You were actually involved in the interview of Elvis down in Rushville or Connorsville? Yep. See, that's the day that all 8 of them jumped in a van. Like, he's taking it like he was just there with Kevin Murphy, but you watch. One of them even said, yeah, there was 4 people we had to interview. His sister, or there was a kid or somebody, or his brother, and there's 4 of them, including Elvis's ex-girlfriend. Not including Elvis, there was 4 people at that one house. So they took 2 people for each person.
And that was 8 cops. They all jumped in one van. Purdy or Portwood or Murphy said that in their thing, that they all jumped in one big van. Probably Murphy said that. And 8 of the top cops of Unified Command felt it necessary to run down and check up on Elvis Fields. Yet Elvis Fields was not allowed to be entered into trial. Gull protected him. Oh, fuck. It was videotaped, wasn't it? I believe so. Don't have it. You know? Yeah, I remember all this. This is so that all 8 of them go down, talk to whatever Elvis and that, or even if it's just Holeman and Murphy, which I believe it's more. They videotaped it, but the defense can't get their hands on it in all discovery. So it's either buried deep in there or not even in there at all. You have to ask Kevin Murphy. Elvis turns around. I'm reading off that February 2018. Were you in a vehicle with Murphy? Did you guys drive down there together? No, we did not. Ooh. Had you ever heard this story? It's not a story. It's right out of his report. Elvis turned around. Oh, sorry. Elvis turned around. When he dropped him off at his trailer, when Murphy did, Elvis then turns around and comes back to Murphy's car. And Elvis asks Murphy that if his spit is found on one of the girls' butt, it could be explained away. Would he still be in trouble? Let's read that again. Holeman has nothing. No, he doesn't have any idea what's going on here. No, we did not. Had you ever heard this story? It's not a story. It's right out of his report. Elvis turned around. When he dropped him off at his trailer, when Murphy did, Elvis then turns around and comes back to Murphy's car, and Elvis asks Murphy that if his spit is found on one of the girls, but it could be explained away, would he still be in trouble? I do recall that. And Elvis is not allowed in trial. You've heard that before? Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. What do you think about that? I'm pretty sure Kevin Murphy would be able to tell you that he followed up on it and quite positive we got his DNA. Again, you say that can be put there, but I don't believe that you can put Elvis on the bridge, near the bridge. But if he says he was there, if he says he did that and spit on the girls, then you could put him there. As easily as if you wanted to believe Richard Allen was there. No, I do better than that. Okay. I put him at the crime scene. He just said what I just said. Fucking asshole. That puts him at the crime scene. If he's saying he spit on one of the dead girl's bodies, oh, you can't put him at the bridge. Oh, we want someone that was at the bridge because that's where the video was. Forget about the crime scene where the body was. That's not good enough. We want the bridge. Way the fuck over there. No, I can do better than that. Okay, I put him at the crime scene. Okay, I don't. Well, of course you. I was just going to say that. Well, sure you don't. Well, you sure don't. Nope. But I do put Richard out. Oh my God. He's just. Instead of, saying he's got to throw Richard Allen back at him, like, don't. But I do put Richard Allen at the crime scene. Yeah, I do. He said he was on a bridge. Yeah, he's at the crime. Like, by crime scene, you mean where the 2 bodies were? You put them there? Go ahead. Tell me how that happened. Okay. Go ahead and make a big fool of yourself and give us some redactions. Ooh, they didn't redact it. Let's see what he says. I just assumed there'd be redactions. All right. I put him at the crime scene. Well, sure you don't. Go ahead. Tell me, jackass, how that happened. Ask questions. It's your deposition. Oh. Well, that's then put it in a question form. Go ahead and tell me what happened. Can you tell me what happened? Because you didn't say it in question form? You've already gone through it. What links the crime scene? He's probably talking like that, like a 5-year-old. What links the crime scene what links to the crime scene are there other than the magic? Oh, I can just feel the sarcasm dripping off of Rosie. Other than the magic bullet, what else is there? Eyewitness testimony, his own admission that he was near the crime scene. Eyewitness testimony. Those unreliable eyewitnesses. The 3 unreliable eyewitnesses that all saw 3 different guys, and not one of them could point to Richard Allen in court. Those eyewitness testimonies. His own admission that he was near the crime scene, and he admitted he was on the bridge. So that's the crime scene. As in, one of them, if the kidnapping started at the end of the bridge. And then whatever you call it, magic bullet, I call evidence indicating that a round from his gun was within inches of a girl that was brutally murdered. He calls it evidence. And it's all it is Melissa Oberg's opinion, her subjective opinion. So they throw the whole science thing out, saying it's her, it's science, but it's science that she takes in through her eyeballs, spins it around in her little gerbil, little hamster wheel, runs around in her head, and then she spits it out, gobbledygook out of her mouth. And that's science. Fuck off. I want to talk about that bullet too. I have not seen one single solitary photo of that bullet outside of 3/4 of it being covered in the ground. Do you know if that bullet was ever photographed outside of the ground? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to need to get those photos. They should be in Discovery. Keep looking, I guess. Anything else about the Delphi supplemental report? Let's go through very quickly what you had not heard. Alibi, Elvis, alibi. What do you think about that? Did he have a pretty solid alibi? I wouldn't. I'd have to review the report and see I don't know what your version of alibi is. Tell me what you think. Well, I don't have the report right here, but I'd have to look at the report too. I'm sure of it. But I'll just tell you that. Do you know who Rod Abrams is? Mm-hmm. You do. I do, yes. Rod Abrams claimed that he, Elvis, and Ned Smith were up in Muncie, and that was found to be not true. Yes, I do know that we were able to validate that. Well, why did Rod Abrams lie? I don't know why he lied, but, no biggie. Okay, one sec. I'm going to grab a quick drink. And we're back. All right. What's happening in chat? You guys having fun? Oh my gosh. I have 181 subscribers. Like fucking 2 weeks ago, I had like 37 or something. Yeah. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had 37 subs. And I got 181 now. You guys are nuts. Thank you. We're going to get along really good then. So what's happening here, guys? Anything fun? Anyone new? Anyone leave? Did I miss saying goodbye to anyone? If you're a prosecutor and want a conviction, just take lessons from these tards. Ooh, Charles. Oh, Charles. Let's read Charles. What's common sense, Charles? The crime scene extends from where? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, asshole. That's 2 separate crime scenes. Come on. What do you think? The whole valley's a crime scene? Is the Hoosier store a crime scene too? Come on. You got to be more specific. There's a crime scene where the bodies were found. And if the abduction happened there, so how do you know they walked that way? What if they walked down a bit and came all the way around or something? Or, You know, you don't know. So you just gonna the whole fucking. So if that whole valley is a crime scene, then why did they not find the girls for 19 hours? It's all one big crime scene. You telling me 100 people walked around one crime scene and didn't find 2 dead bodies laying there? One butt naked, super white from loss of blood. Sorry to be so descriptive, but I mean, we have to if we want to solve this. She lay out there for 19 hours with 100 people walking around that area, and they don't see her laying there. And it's just one crime scene. Yeah, well, you can tell me that all you want. I think it sounds stupid as fuck, dude. So you're okay. So they walked around one crime scene for 19 hours and didn't see 2 girls laying there in the open. So much so that they said, "Hey, fuck it. It's getting dark. It's getting chilly. It's getting dark. It's getting chilly. There's a hill. Let's go home. There's 2 girls laying dead right there, probably. Fuck it. Let's go home. It's getting chilly. I want to get some sleep. Let's come back after we have a nice pancake breakfast, some sausage, bacon. Sleep in till around, 7 or 8. Stroll back here. And then walk around for another 5 fucking hours and not find them. Oh my God. Imagine that. I'm just kidding, Charles. I don't want to start fighting. You're a good guy. Yep. They called up the dogs and kicked out the FBI. Like, just imagine that. Like, I can't get over that. Okay, I'm not trying to argue. I know you don't just. I know you agree with that for sure. Because so let's put you that. Wait. I'm just gonna kind of scroll ahead and see how much is here. So 484. If this is really long, maybe we should. Ooh, redactions. Oh my God. 484. 484. 484. I'm just trying to see how much. Oh, I'm not sure if I feel like reading all this. So, you want me to save that or you want me to do it? I could do it. 484. It's actually not that long. You want me to do it, guys? You want me to do it? Actually, there's lots of redactions in there. You know what? Let's finish it because what's next? Sorry. So, it's not actually, you know what? It doesn't end. It's just, it ends at 500 because it's a volume, but it's going to continue on. See? So I'm glad I would have tricked me the other day. That would have fucked me right up because it's, turns into volume 3 at page 500. But it's not ending. It's just continuing. But they have to mark the volume 3 is starting. So it continues on page 1. So I'm glad. See, that totally would have. You know what kind of wild goose chase I went on? I went on like a half an hour wild goose chase 2 or 3 times. What I just figured out there in 5 seconds. So yeah, here it ends here. So page 510. Okay, 1, I go through this. Let's do this. I can do it. Or 2, I don't. I have a feeling you're all going to say 1, so I'll just start reading. I'm being a baby. See, I would have been like 3 pages closer now if I just. Oh wait, 484 wasn't it? Oh my God. Sorry. Yeah, 484. Ooh. Oh my God. Maybe I was I on 484? Oh yeah, because they were talking about Rod Abrams. Yeah. So I'll just start here. Oh, maybe I was. Do you guys remember what I was on? Oh shit. You know what? 1 sec. I can go back and look. I was on 484. Yeah. I just went back. Oh, jeepers. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to focus and get this done. And I'm going to have to reload this browser because something weird's happening. And go from top chat to live chat. Scroll this down and focus, motherfucker. Oh, that's why. Okay. No problem. Sorry, guys. I had to reload one of my browsers. Because did you ever try to, that little bar where you can pick the minutes of the YouTube video? Like on my mouse, I clicked it to kind of move it back, but I let go of the button, but it kind of stayed like it kept thinking the button was pushed down. So every time I moved my mouse, it was jumping the timestamp part, the line. I was jumping back and forth, but I wasn't pushing the button anymore. So that was weird. And that's done it to me before. So only when I'm going from StreamYard to the YouTube and back. So, okay, let's do this. Should I continue? Here. Nicole's laughing at me. LMAO. You were talking to Nicole, you dork. I agree. I'm a dork. Okay, let's do this. Sorry. So they were talking about Abrams, right? So let's just go into it. Solid out by. I was on 84. So let's do this. Did you ever do this in police practice where you get 3 guys? Oh, sorry. Full screen. Nicole's laughing at me on screen. I hear you. Focus. Did you ever do this in that police practice where you get 3 guys in 3 different rooms and say somebody's going to talk about that? That's going to be that person that gets the deal. Deal's coming around one time to one person. Who's talking? Is it going to be you? Have you ever done that? No, I have not. You haven't? Nope. You don't think that's an appropriate thing to do? No. Really? They do that all the time. Come on, stop it. No. Like they put guys and they say, oh, they even make it so they can kind of hear them in the other room too. They're saying, oh, well, he's talking now. Are you going to be the first one to get the deal? You going to win the prize and tell on them before they tell on you? No, that would be wrong. Did you ever think about rounding up Elvis or having anybody round up Elvis and Rod Abrams in 2 different rooms and talking to them about what happened? I'm pretty sure they were talked to about that, what happened. But where they played off one another since the alibi of Rod Abrams was found to be not true. I know that Jay Harper and Kevin Murphy and those guys interviewed them and talked about it. I don't know if they used that tactic that you mentioned. I would not use that tactic. Why not? I don't know. It's just not a tactic I would use at that point. Oh, you motherfucker. At that point. See how he throws that in? So all the times he did use it, he can say, well, it wasn't at that point yet when I used it. These fucking double speak. There's so much ambiguity in their fucking bullshit that it's just, they could just have the best of both worlds. I mean, what is happening in this world? Rod Abrams, your alibi is bad. We know that it's not true. Tell us what happened. Well, I would never use that technique. That's such a bad technique. Yet I've used it probably 100 times in the last 3 years on these dopes, just like him. Maybe that did happen. I don't know. You're looking at the reports. I'm not. And we could probably find more reports that maybe you need to refresh onto, I guess. I don't know. Is this going to be a situation where you're going to be blaming Murphy and others? Oh, was it the Word document? No, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying it's not my report. They're your guys. Are you the top guy? One of the top guys? So just because you didn't write it, then pass the buck? The buck stops with you, motherfucker. At least one of you. I was there. I remember everything that you just mentioned. But for more detail, we'd have to look at the other reports, see if there's any other reports on it. Does Exhibit G, I think it is, the 12-page? Yeah, we call it the Odin report in our office. The 12-page Odin report. Does that get you like thinking, man, I need to go get back and start our investigations? Now, here we go. I need to look at some things, but again, so he's about to talk about the Odin report that he was caught lying about in sworn affidavits, right? And Judge Gull has no problem about it. Jerry Holeman was caught red-handed lying about it in a sworn affidavit about the Odin report, about what Turco said, saying he didn't say things he said, that he omitted stuff he said. He said stuff in the alternative, and he obfuscated him, saying that he didn't even know if it was a him or her, or how to get a hold of him or her. And then watch this. Kaboom! Redaction. Kaboom! Redaction. This is where the fuckface lied all over. 2 pages of redactions, right when Well, definitely follow up that. Yeah. Oh, we'll get right on that. Yeah. Yeah. 2 pages of my accountability. Yeah. We'll definitely follow up on that, right? Let me make a note of that here. I'm writing it down, right? I'm making a mental note of it. Yeah. I'll get right on that. That you will look into them. You're going to follow up on Exhibit G from this deposition? Absolutely. Can I get a copy of this? Ooh. Yeah, absolutely. I got you a copy right there. Thank you, sir. These two fucking hate each other. Good for you, Rosie. This guy's a fucking dirtbag, lying sack of shit. That's all the questions I have for now. 1 second. Rosie? Or maybe that was Baldwin. I don't even know. I think it was Baldwin, but who cares? Officer Holeman. Trooper Dick Holeman. First of all, I'm kind of listening to this exchange with this report that Mr. Baldwin has referenced with this report, what Mr. Baldwin has referenced. Do you have some reason to believe, or are you concerned that somehow we put together a report on our own and are giving it to you? Oops. No, I don't believe that. I believe maybe it came from Ferenczi. Maybe he summarized that, what him and Murphy and Purdy were doing. Maybe that's why I haven't seen this. If Purdy and Murphy did this report, I wouldn't expect them to do this because this is not our standard operating procedure on how to turn in a report. Oh my God. I just want to make sure. It's not that I didn't see it. 1 sec, sorry. Sorry, guys. Oh, you'll be right back? Okay, I'll have to watch chat better. Charles is here. Nobody's coming in. I'm getting a bunch of notifications now. Shit. Nothing like a Timmy's. Oh, yeah. I don't even go to Timmy's anymore. Fuck that. I make my own coffee. No fucking way. You know, I haven't been to Tim Hortons in years because I just buy the instant coffee. Anytime before I need to drive in my car, I buy the cups, the empty cups and lids at the Price Club. You can get a huge stack of them. Or you can have the good standing ones, they hold the heat in, right? And I use the Nescafe, cheap instant caramel flavor Nescafe. And it's fucking amazing. Just get regular cream and you can make a cup of coffee. Why would you go to Tim Hortons? It used to be a big deal, but it's kind of gone down. I don't go there anymore because I'm not done. It's just you can make a cup of coffee for 20 cents worth of stuff or 50 cents at your house. And the thing I hate is like if you go at 7 or 8 in the morning, there's always huge lineups in that. So imagine people going there and spending $4 or $5 for something that costs 30 cents or 50 cents and having to sit around a half an hour waiting for it. I think that's probably the worst of it is the waiting. Because if you go to any Tim Hortons around in Mississauga anyway, around 7 or 8 a.m., you're fucking waiting there half an hour, walking in or drive through. If you guys don't know, Tim Hortons is a place where we buy coffee. It's like Dunkin' Donuts up here in Canada. But or if you like Timmy's, I have the Timmy's instant coffee. And the Tim Hortons instant coffee is good. The trick with it is theirs is like super strong, or the one I got is super strong, so you can't add too much of it. And it tastes exactly the same. You just boil, got a great electric kettle, you boil the water, dump it in. It tastes exactly like theirs. So I guess the main thing is the big lineups. So what did I stop for again? I took a drink and I was going to read chat. Okay. Actually, you know what? Focus, dude. I got Nicole off the screen. Nicole was laughing at me. She's not laughing at me anymore. I'm going at this myself here. Let's do this. I know you haven't looked at the whole thing. Yeah, I skipped around. You're not suggesting that we somehow concocted this report for purposes of today? No, I'm just telling you I've never seen this report, and it's not in the standard state police report form, and maybe it was made by Greg Ferenczi. I don't know. Doesn't really say, but I'll find out how. I'll look into all the information in here, and I'll see if we already followed up on it. If we did, I'll provide those reports. If not, we will. And you know what? I'll write it on a Word document, and then in case in the future I think it's bullshit and doesn't support my narrative, I can say, hey, I wrote that for you in the wrong format, so you can't use it. So let's just talk about, let me make sure I'm clear. Let's talk about Brad Holder, okay? Okay, so you acknowledge that Brad Holder was a suspect in this case. I said that, yeah. He was a person of interest. You were looking at him with some interest, right? Mm-hmm. Yes or no? Yes. And that was around the time of the circumstances, the murders that occurred in this case, right? It was early, yeah. And at some point, this guy named Brian Boucher apparently reached out to some of your people to communicate some things that he had learned, right? Mm-hmm. Yes or no? Use your big boy words, Jerry. Yes. And based on what's at least in the report, that he offered up these images and photographs and things. I think there's even a reference in the winner's report that there was a Dropbox attachment. Did you see that at the bottom? I did. Did you guys have a Dropbox that you used? I believe so. And did that Dropbox, was that a place like a central repository? Sounds like an old phrase from a Kennedy story, but is that what it was? Where people could access it and get all the information easily? Like those chomos would share a Dropbox? You guys shared a Dropbox? You like the Dropbox? I believe so. I've used Dropbox occasionally, but not very often. Yeah. Just in your private life, I bet. Okay. And is it fair to say that whatever he would have given you in this meeting, whether it has these images or other things, that it would have been accessible to your team? Yes. And to that extent, that the report mentions that there are formations on those girls' bodies, these stick formations that are consistent with these images that were uploaded, would that have caught your attention immediately? I'm sure we've seen this. Yeah. Well, I'm asking, have you seen that? Yeah, I've seen this photo before, not him. You are familiar with that photo? You were talking about Exhibit 7I? Mm-hmm. My vision's bad, but that's what you're talking about, right? I've seen it. I've seen I believe it was a screenshot form of somebody's web page. I didn't see this actual. Definitely similarities between I and the one below it. I can't read the letter, right? J, a few. I'm not suggesting that that I is a real photograph, but there are similarities clearly between the circumstances and the way the bodies are laying and things like that, right? Yes. Nicole's back. Cool. So I don't have to worry about chat because I trust Charles, but you never know. It's like when you don't look at chat, you get trolls coming in and kind of saying stuff. But actually, maybe I'm getting bigger now. So I had one troll come in, I've had a couple trolls actually. So, and I'm close to, 200 subs. So they're picking up on how huge Shibby is becoming and influential in this community. Yeah, sounds about right. Enough that if you saw that in the course of your investigation, you would be like, we need to look into this. And we did. Did you go back to Brad Holder and talk to him about an image eye? Me personally? Nope. Do you have any recollection of anybody doing that? I'm going to look into it. I'll find out and let you know. Well, asshole, I can tell you. Purdy and Lourdes went back and talked to Brad Holder. And since you cleared him, they didn't really deep dive his work history. But they did. They did stop into his work and check it out. But they didn't deep dive because you had cleared him. But what they did do is they went and sat down with him and they talked to him. And you know what he said to them? Brad Holder told Purdy and Lourdes that he walks around in the fucking woods and listens through the branches for the branches to talk, for Odin to speak to him through the goddamn branches in the woods. That's what happened. So you go look into it because you bloody well fucking must know that. It's your people going to do this for you. Are you aware that in your report, one of the reports, that it was actually referenced that Logan Holder dumped his phone and sold his vehicle around the time of these murders? Who did? Logan Holder. The son? Yeah, I believe that sounds familiar. Would that cause you some concern? Yes. So Richard Allen comes to you and says, here's my phone. And now it's a big fucking deal 5 years later. You can't find the one he tried to come and gave you. Yet the fucking dead girl's boyfriend, whose father has lied the shit to you a couple times, and there's all this tattoos on his hand that look exactly like the sticks, and lied about knowing her, and runs around the fucking forest listening to the branches for Odin to speak to him. This guy tells you that kid throws the phone away or whatever. What do you say about it? And they don't do nothing about it. Did you follow up on that? Me personally? No. But I'll look into it and find out. Oh, that's enough. Let me write that down on the list of things that I'm really going to do for you. You know, that list I'm just going to fucking chew up and swallow as soon as I get out of here because I'm hungry. Me personally? No. I'll look into it and find out. And with regard to these sticks here, which would be referenced, this is a terrible way to do this, but on Exhibit F, you've seen these before, right? Yeah. You're not disputing that this image on the left, the comparison came from Holder's Facebook page, right? I'm not disputing that, no. And the image on the right is clearly the one that was at the crime scene. That is correct. You've already acknowledged to Mr. Baldwin that there's some similarities there. Yes. And again, starting to put the pieces together, each of these individually doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but the totality. But when you start to kind of join them, it definitely warrants some response, doesn't it? And I believe we did respond. Yes. I'll look into it for you. Yeah, you responded. You sent 2 people down there to talk to him, and he told you some even more incriminating shit about listening to the branches, listening for Odin to speak to him through the branches. Yet you don't seem to know that. Now, let's talk about Patrick Westfall again. Okay. Are you aware that in your own reports there's references that Patrick Westfall and Brad Holder frequented this trail together? No, this is not a state police report. Oh, was it written in Word document again? I'm asking you if you're aware that that's been reported to your law enforcement agencies, any of your investigation. Are you referencing to G? I don't know if it's in that report. I'm saying, are you aware that that has been reported to your investigative team? That those 2 guys had spent time on that trail. I don't recall that, no. Would that be something that you think would stand out to you? Yes. I think we covered this earlier, but are you aware that the 2 of them openly communicated via social media that they're involved in this Odin group? Yes. Not really any dispute about that? Nope. And are you aware there was actually a video that was offered up to one of your investigators? I think Mr. Baldwin mentioned this earlier, of Brad Holder conducting a pagan ritual where they were marking a tree. I don't recall that. No. If it's in your police reports or in your investigative material, would you have any reason to dispute that occurred? I want to read it and make sure it's true and accurate that you're saying it as it says. Right, that you're saying that the evidence I collected for you and gave to you is real. You haven't heard anything about that? Nope. Excuse me. A fact that if you heard would probably stand out in your mind? I think that it would, yeah. He asked you about Amber Holder. You know, He asked you about Amber Holder. You know, she cooperated with the police, right? Right. 1 second. I gotta get the stuffy here. I turn off all my fans so I don't have any background noises, but I don't have, and the heater's not coming on so much, so I'm not getting fresh air. 1 sec, guys. One more second. Sorry, guys. Alrighty. I just sprayed that note stuff. See if that works good. Hopefully it kicks in a second. She was basically an informant as it relates to her former husband, right? That you were investigating. Yes. At one point, she actually told your investigators that he was drunk one night and was telling her about how he was in the woods conducting a ritual with Westfall. I don't know who wrote that report, but yeah, I recall hearing information about Amber's information. Near a river? Yes. All things that are very consistent with what occurred in this case. Very consistent, yes. He asked you, I think, earlier about about the fact that these two girls, there was at least some comments about how being murdered because their parents were mixing races. You're familiar with the allegation? That allegation? I'm somewhat familiar with, yeah. I don't know if there's any truth to those allegations. The truth is that those words were uttered in the investigation in this case, right? Yes. Are you aware that Amber Holder reported to your investigative team that Brad Holder specifically told her that Westfall had killed people in the past? Yes. Johnny Messer is the one you don't know, right? I don't know. So we got Holder up here in this area, right? Mm-hmm. Where's Westfall live? Not exactly sure where Westfall lives. Connorsville? Rushville? Connorsville. And you got Johnny Messer. Would you be surprised to find out that he lives down in Rushville? No, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying I wasn't, told about it. I just don't remember who Johnny Messer is. There was a woman named Taylor Hornaday. Does that sound familiar? Not until today. Johnny Messer's girlfriend. Do you have any reason to dispute that? That she, I'd never spoken to her, reported to various facts to your law enforcement authorities, and I'd have to see them. If I told you she told your officers that Westfall and Brad Holder were two of the most violent people she knew, would that be a surprise to you? No, no, not at all. What officers are you referring to? Do you have that in the report? Well, I'm just telling you, if it's in your report, hypothetically, would that be a surprise to you? I mean, nothing surprises me anymore, but no. There was a reference in one of the reports that Hornaday, Messer's girlfriend, suggested that these two were fighting around Valentine's Day of 2017 because he was up here running around with some Vinlanders, she said. Does that sound? I saw that in this report. Yeah, first time I saw that. Would that cause you to be concerned about his involvement in this case? Not really, but it will be followed up on, and I'll look into it like everything else. Yeah. Throw that on the pile. I'll get right on it. Are you aware of your report suggesting that Miss Hornaday told your officers? Actually, it was Officer Click, I recall, out of maybe Rushville or some other. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think he's like the chief down there. Yeah. She told him that Messer actually admitted to her that he had killed somebody before. You follow up on any of that? I'm sure whoever you're referring to as your report, this isn't my report, and I'm going to say it's not a state police report. You're on the Central Command or Unified Command? I don't recall anybody telling me that, no. Were you aware that your team actually obtained a search warrant for Hornaday's phone? Okay. In 2018? Does that sound familiar at all? Who? Your team did. Got a search warrant for Mess's girlfriend's phone. What part of my team? I don't know. I just know it's in the report. Okay. Do you have any reason to dispute that? No. And that, when they did that, oh my gosh. Hey, look at that. 1 second. Sorry. A quick drink. And we're back. Yep. CA is in Canada. I can literally drive to Shibby's in minutes. Oh. Am I in trouble? Charles, should I be worried? What do I do here, Charles? She's minutes away. Dun, dun, dun. Just kidding. All right, let's try that again. I'm going to get through this. I can do this. I think I can. I'm like that little train that could, the little engine that could. And that when they did that, okay, their fucking grammar, I hate this. And that when they did that, they were attempting to confirm what she was telling them about Johnny Messer, which makes sense, right? No. And that when they did that, they were attempting. Ooh, I read the same thing twice. OMG. You'd go get a search warrant to corroborate her statements, right? Mm-hmm. And are you aware that in those recordings, your own investigators actually discovered audio recordings where Messer was offering up money to other individuals trying to hire somebody to make a hit for him? Did you know that? No. None of that sounds familiar? I'll have to review the report. Like fucking some guys, he has no idea. Oh my gosh. I guess the question is, if those kinds of things were going on and they were surrounding this investigation, do you think you would have forgotten those things? Possibly. I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, obviously what you're saying. Well, do you remember any side investigations because you recovered an audio recording? See, 250. So we're crossing over page 500. So they got to start a new volume. The other day, I fucking set me in a search because I thought that the one person's deposition ended, but meanwhile, it's just continued on here. So somebody who, and I spent like a half an hour zipping around trying to figure that out. I don't even know if I figured it out. I did accidentally find where I wanted to be. So somebody who said that they were trying to hire a hitman. I don't remember any side investigation. Like, hey, maybe we ought to talk to the local authorities and see what's going on with that. Do you remember doing any of that? I don't remember, but it possibly could have been done. Again, if this was done by Terre Haute and those people were communicating with us, no, I wouldn't know. If they were doing that investigation on their own and communicated with Murphy and Purdy, and they were just giving me bits and pieces of that information, then yeah, I would assume they're following up on it. If they're telling me, hey, this is what happened, and then I guess my thing is it doesn't seem like this stuff is kind of resonating with you at this point. So it must not have been a material part of your investigation. That's kind of the way I'm feeling about it. I mean, you have to realize I've been here, 6 hours now? I'm getting tired. I'm trying to remember everything. I was very appreciative that you gave me information that I could prepare for, but the stuff that these names weren't on that, so I didn't have time to prepare. The people we're talking about are part of the 17 names that are on that list. By the way, it's the first time I've ever given a prosecutor even an inkling of an outline in doing this. Well, have you ever worked on a case this big with this much information? No, neither one of us has. Me neither. So it helps you to help me so I can prepare. I'll go back and prepare. Hold on a minute. Let's keep talking about Messer and this gang of Rushville people. So if I told you that in that report, there was a second recording that was recovered from Amber Hornaday's phone that had Johnny Messer talking about holding a suspect hostage and shooting someone, would that kind of resonate with you? I've never seen this report. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about a report that I've never seen. If that kind of information was unearthed by your team, don't you think you, being in the Central Command or the Unified Command, would have known that? Should have, yeah. But like you mentioned, there were side investigations that wasn't getting relayed to us. So communication or the lack of would cause this not to be. That's why I don't remember it. I've never seen this report. I only know bits and pieces of that, what you're talking about. Elvis Fields, also a Rushville guy, right? Hmm. So now we're starting to see even more of a connection. We got Holder up here. We got Westfall down there. We got Johnny Messer. We got Elvis Fields. Definitely some connections here, right? That's what you say. I'd have to review all this information and all this data. If I'm taking it from your report, then it's okay for me to rely on that, right? I mean, you could be taking it out of context. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to read it myself. Brad and I will. I want to be prepared. I want to give you accurate. Elvis had a sister named Mary Jacobs. Yes. Yes. You know that Mary Jacobs was very helpful to you, your team, in reporting all this stuff. Yeah, she's the one that I referred to earlier that was told was a bit crazy. This fucking asshole. Yeah, I remember this bothered me when he said it earlier. He was told she was a bit crazy. So Murphy just said she had pill bottles around, but he didn't say she was crazy. So you were told a woman was crazy, and two of your officers took this woman in their car, this crazy woman. Did they help her out of her straitjacket? Like, was she that crazy? They took her into a car. They drove her to a police station. They had her polygraphed. So for this fucking asshole to be able to label her as crazy to this, the jury is going to be influenced by this. Yet these motherfuckers took that same woman for a polygraph test, and both of them said she was trustworthy and sound lucid, and obviously her medications were working. She was in a great state of mind. And this motherfucker's allowed to refer to as a bit crazy. My recollection is that she reported that Elvis admitted to her that he was on a bridge with two girls that had just been killed, and he was now a part of a gang, I think, is what he said. Do you recall that? I recall. And you were trying to determine the veracity of her statement. So you had her polygraphed, right? Somebody did, yeah. And we use those polygraphs in court. They're pretty important, pretty reliable. Mm-hmm. And she passed that polygraph. I'd have to look at it. So, would you be surprised to find that? No. You think maybe it might be time to kind of take a second look at that? This can kind of piece this together? Or are you kind of like, hey, we've already covered this? No, I think we'll take a look at some of the stuff, Oh, shucks, I guess if I have to, I will. Do I have to? Oh, geez. Gee whiz. Okay, I will. Put that on the pile of shit I'm not going to do later. But I think the focus should be on Richard Allen. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just focus on Richard Allen. Not all, and the evidence against Richard Allen, and not this fucking 10 times more, 10 times more evidence on all these other dipshits. Tunnel vision, right? No, not tunnel vision. Well, we've got people in this room already that have said that there are potentially more than one person involved in this. Potentially, yeah. So it might be that some of these people were involved. I don't think so, but we'll definitely look into it. Yeah, check's in the mail. I'll look into that for sure. Can you write that down too? I'll get right on that. It's possible. Anything's possible. Just got to dream big. Aim for the stars. He mentioned the spit comment earlier that caught everybody's attention, right? From Elvis. Refresh my memory. That Elvis at some point got out of your officer's car and was walking into his home and turned around and came back. That's a good point. He got out of your officer's car. Like, you know how many times a person's got out of an officer's car, and since that person is an officer of the law, what he has said is so goddamn trustworthy, it's probably put people away for fucking tons of different crimes, because an officer of the law is a trusted person. Yet, when it's not to their liking, they don't care for the narrative. All of a sudden, that officer of the law, fucking one ends up dead, one ends up in jail, and the other one just fucking starts changing his tune on some stuff. Like, it's so fucking disingenuous, these guys. I think it was Murphy, Earl Winters. It was Murphy, and told him that if the spit was on one, no, they probably mistyped that because Rosie would never have said that. See, these fuckers are trying to sneak things through here too by typing, because they can get away with it by, oops, we put an accidental T, and I'm going to change it back because I fucking know Rosie wouldn't have said that. And told him that if his spit, or if he spit on one of the girls' bodies, would he be in trouble? That raised some concern. But they tried to, and told him, because it doesn't sound as bad that way, and told him that if the spit was on one of the girls, no, it was his. He said if his spit was on one of the girls' bodies, would he be in trouble? That raised some eyebrows. Right. I do remember Kevin talking about that. And then the alibi problems. Between Ned Smith and Elvis, and I think Messer, right? Yes. We're starting to see the connection now between all of these people in the crime scene, aren't we? I don't know about crime scene, but there is a connection with the people, yeah. And Rosie, I don't have any further questions. Baldwin, I got 3 quick ones. Okay, let's do this. Redirect, okay. First, I think it's Brad Holder that sold his car. It was Logan. That's what I was thinking. I don't think Logan had a car. Earlier, he had to be told that. But now he's correcting. Oh, did Baldwin set him up there to trap him in that? Could have sworn earlier. I'll go back and read that later. Could have sworn earlier that Rosie or somebody said to him, and he was like, oh, I didn't know that. If that happened, that would have piqued my interest. Yet now, he seemed to correct Baldwin. I bet you $10 Baldwin set him up for that. First, I think it's Brad Holder that sold his car. No, you dipshit. It was Logan. That's what I was thinking. I don't think Logan had a car. It wasn't. Oh, so he's saying it wasn't Logan? Oh, that's what I was thinking. It wasn't a car. Okay. Maybe I fucked that up. Sorry. Carry on. I thought he said it was Logan. So it was. Well, you know what? It probably was Logan because, I mean, at that age, my cars were my dad's cars, were basically. He bought them for me and put them in his name, and I would blow the motors up and break the transmissions and get caught racing and doing donuts in the fucking high school parking lot and break stands on the speed bumps and drinking and driving and crashing into other cars and all the shit I did as a fucking teenager. Man, the 80s and 90s were a little different back then. So, I remember one time I got really drunk and I got halfway home and I stopped at like a Mr. Submarine. It's like a Subway, Mr. Submarine, and in Port Credit, and I parked my car at like 2:00 in the morning. I ordered a bacon sub and chocolate milk, and I called my dad and I said, Dad, I can't fucking drive, man. I can't make it home. He's like, he comes and I was like 16. I was hammered, and he comes and picks me up and sits beside me, and we split bacon submarine at like 2 in the morning and talked chocolate milk and talked, and we went home. I was drunk as fuck. And he took me back the next day to get the car and didn't say shit. He said, actually, he was happy I called because he said I shouldn't have been driving. So I want to ask you, am I in danger? Are you? Oh, sorry. I want to ask you, am I in danger? Are you in danger? Yes, with Odinites. Are you? Should I be worried about that? Are you involved in it? I don't know. Here's what I'm concerned about. You said here plainly multiple times. Richard Allen did this. Richard Allen did this. Richard Allen did this, right? Yes, sir. And with that attitude, you're going to go in and claim that you're going to investigate this fairly. And this stuff that you've not heard before, I don't believe it. Have I ever told you anything and it didn't follow up on it? No. But I have definitely experienced, you've got like 10 things on your list today you need to go home and find out. I'm feeling that you didn't do. In 30 years of doing this, that fixed their problems. Wait, no, but I've definitely experienced police officers in 30 years of doing this that fix their problems. Fix their problems. Is that the question? Are you going to fix these problems, or are you going to actually look for the truth? I'm going to look for the truth. But I think I've already found the truth. Yeah, there's my tunnel vision I don't have. Yeah, all this other evidence you're saying that I collected and don't remember or wrote down on wrong paper. Yeah, I'm going to fucking fix all that. But most importantly, I'm going to think about the fucking guy I know did it, Richard Allen. Without my tunnel vision, I'm going to do that. But I definitely will look into this, no doubt about it. And I will find out if we have done the follow-ups. And I don't know about it. And I will let prosecutor Boss Man McClellan know. And he can forward that information to you. Baldwin Gypsies. That's all I have. Whew. Oh my gosh, I made it. You want to review and sign? Yes, I do. And further the deponent saith not. Oh, hallelujah. Jerry Holeman, motherfucking liar. Ooh. So let's write this down, Nicole. I'm finishing at, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? What's next? I declare under penalty, Jerry Holman still. Ooh, is this the end? What's going on here? Ooh, we've already read this. But anyways, so let's just write down we finished Jerry fucking Holman. Oh my God, I did it. Oh my God, I did it. I did it. Mom's going to be so proud when I tell her today. After I sleep up, when I wake up in the afternoon and call my mom and tell her, she's going to be so goddamn proud of me. Hopefully I can get up and maybe have a coffee before and call her, see what she says. Look, Ma, no hands. Okay, guys, maybe we should shut this down. This is getting nuts. Wow, any questions? Anything? You guys want to tell me how great I am? How great that was? 7:37 a.m. Holy fuck. I finished work 37 minutes ago. I didn't even notice. So, what's up? There we go. A liar who lies and lies. There we go. That's a great way to finish. Purple Mary Liz. Is that what that says? Purple amaryllis. Is that like a flower or something? A purple amaryllis. So I'm going to write down we finished Holman because I know I could think in my mind, I could just think of that. But if I don't write it down, I'm probably going to look at this tomorrow and think, did I finish? So we picked up because we paused at line. No. Oh, yeah. You left at the very top, Nicole, of our shared note. So I'm going to put down on Nicole wrote down page 444, line 5, asshole man, 11/22/25. I put so now what I'm going to put is the hole's been plugged, Nicole. The asshole man, the hole's been plugged. We finished on page PG. On page, let's say we finished Holman's officially finishes because we might as well just put 514. Yeah. Dick Jerry, asshole man. Officially finished on page 514. Ooh. I feel so good writing this stuff down because I know tomorrow it's going to be like, ooh, it's going to help so much. It's a flower, Shibby. A purple amaryllis. Sounds like a nice flower. I'll look it up. So, 3 hours and 18 crazy people listening to me right now still. You guys are nuts. I love it. Just my type of crazy people. So, anything, guys, before we end this up? I got to go make breakfast before I fall asleep for 8 hours. I'm going to make a huge eggs sandwich on American cheddar on a everything bagel with tomato chopped all over it, some juice. I'm not going to have a coffee so I can sleep good. Ask her what the Civil War was like. Who? What? Did I miss something? It's a flower. Ask her what the Civil War was. My mom?
I took all my vitamins on an empty stomach and now I'm sick. Ooh, well, go eat something. Yeah, we'll finish you up. Go eat something. Go drink some. Do you have smoothies or something? Make a smoothie. Put some, get frozen fruit. Throw it in a ninja blender. I throw 10 cherries and I freeze the bananas. What I do is I take bananas, I unpeel the bananas and I put them in a Tupperware thingy with wax paper and I put them in the freezer. So when I take the bananas out, they're frozen because it helps the smoothie. So I take the banana, I break it in pieces because it's frozen. Then I put 10 cherries in. Then I fill it up with skim milk. Well, not fill it, but I put 3/4 skim milk, a teaspoon of coconut oil, and 2 scoops of vanilla protein powder, and some plain 0% Greek yogurt. And then I blend it all together, and I put 2 more huge scoops of blended plain 0% Greek yogurt on it because it looks like whipped cream, and I like that. It tricks my mind to thinking I'm having a treat. Try that, Nicole. You'll feel better. It's like you feel great. Like I could skip a whole meal doing that. So, that being said, anything else, guys? Or shall we shut this down? Thanks for being here, guys. Did I miss anything? Should we write anything down? Or just, oh, look at this guy. 4 pits, just in time. We were just about to leave, you bugger. Coming in here saying good morning. I'm going to sleep up here in Toronto, Canada. And you're waking up in Knoxville, Tennessee. Is that Tennessee? Yeah, Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, that's a good way to end. Nicole, I say, Nicole, are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. Oh. Is that a mirror in your pants? Because I can see myself in them. Ooh, let me read that collar on your shirt. Let me see, where was that shirt made? Ooh, just what I thought. Made in heaven. I think I got those from the that Roxbury, the Night in Roxbury movie. Anyway, so you good morning. Well, you heading out there? 4 pits? How's Tennessee? How's the weather down there? I guess it's still pretty warm. Stays warm all year round, eh? Your mom. Your mom. Oh. Uh-oh. Are you guys fighting? Wait a sec. What's going on here? Oh, no. You put a happy face. That's good. That's good. Love to see the little happy faces. Yeah, we'll make a plan for what's next. How about this? How about this? I will go sleep for 8. I'm going to eat something, and I'll sleep for a good 8 hours. I'm going to put earplugs in, and even though I don't need it, just helps. I sleep dead silence. My room will be pitch black. I'm going to sleep for at least 8 hours, and Nicole, my super duper helper, who's going to probably come up on stage and talk soon because you should hear her voice. Go listen to Charles's last live stream of the Flora 4. Me and Nicole and I and Charles knocked one out of the park. And it started out to be what I thought was going to be horrible. Turned into an amazing live stream with an amazing ending. And it was a great tribute for the 4 Flora girls. And it was turned out really good. And you can hear Nicole's, oh my gosh, she's got such a sweet, pretty, borderline sexy voice. And she sounds like so amazing. I didn't know because I'd been talking to her for months on typing in chats and on Discord. And that was the first time I actually heard her voice. So I was like, damn, bless her little heart down there, down south. Even though you're married, I could still think you have a pretty voice because you're such a sweet and lovely woman. Oh my. And with that being said, I'm going to shut this down because your husband's huge. And thank God he thinks I'm funny because I'm sure he wants to kill me. Ooh, who's this? Who are you? Good morning. And God bless all of you. Wow. What is that? Oh my gosh. I just wanted to say this time has some of the weirdest crap this time has some of the weirdest crap other ever seen on here, but bless you all anyway. There, look at that. So 4 Pits comes in and says good morning, and oops, this guy who missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 JI. Thank you. Well, come on back next time. Set your notifications to on. Oh, I've got tons of live streams. Go back. I had one the other day. It was 7 hours and 55 minutes. Fucking believe that? It's crazy. Or if you know anything about the Delphi case, if not, we were reading depositions and talking about the Delphi murders from Delphi, Indiana, where 2 young girls were unfortunately murdered, and one, Richard Allen, was wrongfully convicted. In my opinion, he was now spending 130 some odd years in a prison for something we all believe he didn't do, and he got a very unfair trial. So, if you're new, go back and read that stuff on the Delphi and set your notifications to on, because we're gonna blow this case wide open, right, Charles? No one is fighting, you dork. Come on now, I sound like a hillbilly. Nicole, you have such a pretty southern voice. Man, thank God I didn't know, because now that I got to know you, if I had heard you that time, I probably would have been so nervous, I would have never talked to you. But wow, go back and listen. Go to Charles's channel. Drop that link in there, the floor 4. You want to hear the prettiest voice? You'll find it right there. So what I'm saying is, she's coming on here soon. I feel it. And Habby's going to too. And Dino's going to. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 JI is welcome, if anybody, maybe sometime. Let's just end with that. Thank you. That's a nice comment. We're going to end with that. Okay, guys? So that being said, we're going to shut this shit down. Good morning, and God bless all of you. I just wanted to say this time has some of the weirdest crap I've ever seen or on here. But bless you all anyway. Thank you very kindly, sir, ma'am. Your photo, you look like the video game Cubert from 1985. I used to play at the store. That being said, thanks, guys, and good night. Yes, no one was fighting. That was not justice. Definitely not. Stay tuned, guys. Set your notifications to on. 20 crazy people signing off. 98. Nighty night. I need a sign off thing. That's it. I swear, next time I sign off, you're going to hear something really charming and witty, okay? Maybe I'll write this down and end with this one. Good morning, and God bless all of you. Good morning to you all. I'm going to go to sleep and wake up in the afternoon. Later. Bye.